Take the rest of the weekend off. J.D. Vance is our wait till you hear this today from Eau Claire.
That makes sense.
Well, as I told Andrew.
No. Tell him I'm showing him. Tell him no.
Look at the camera. Look.
Tell him to look. Tell him to look at. No.
Hello, everybody.
I don't see it. Wow. Oh, there it is.
It is?
Now it is. Yeah.
Mine's not.
Try again. Let me see how far back the.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Just a couple seconds.
All right, everybody. We're here on a Throwback Thursday.
Wow. Thank you,
Yes.
Andrew. Man killed while trying to cross the street. Jesus.
Well, don't cross streets.
Yeah.
Damn.
I couldn't believe that woman I saw in jogging gear at 3:30 in the morning.
Jeez, you got to be kidding me. Who's out running at 3:30 in the morning?
And I've even looked where she crossed over. Then she's got to go on the other side of the highway
and do the same thing.
And then it doesn't look like it looks like there was a drop off. I don't know what the hell she was doing. Travis, Tim, Steve DeRocco,
The Rock,
Sam, Rooster,
Old Highway 90 West. I wouldn't cross that in the daytime.
No.
I'm sorry. God, that's a close-up picture of Chris Duell right now.
A little too close. It's a Throwback Thursday. We are wearing throwback T-shirts this morning.
Yes.
Mine is Mr. Buzz Aldrin. Excuse me, Colonel Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, thank you. He doesn't like it when you call him Mr.
If you say we didn't land on the moon, he will punch you in the face.
And mine is 96 Rock when Joe Anthony was there.
Woo! Oh, my battery's going out.
Oh, no.
Plug in.
Oh, no.
Plug in.
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it in. Plug it in. We have the technology.
We can replug it.
Yes. Where to go, Tim? Get back into the gym. Always a good idea.
Now, they closed all the gyms here, didn't they?
Did they?
I believe so. I know the one in Hildebrand and 281 is closed.
Yeah.
I know that most of them, and I love their pancakes, man.
I'm slow, especially at.
Well, that's the only gyms that I ever belonged to.
Yeah.
Great pancakes.
Yes.
Monday's always a good day to put it off till, because there's always another one. Hello. Wow, just got an Amazon delivery at my house at 5:05 in the morning. Really?
Damn,
They're out early, aren't they?
Yeah.
What is it? What'd you get?
Beth ordered.
No.
Kind of supplement. Really
all right, so we'll do this pickleball thing early?
Yeah, right. Ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather.
Okay. Child porn found on his phone. A Bexar County Sheriff's applicant. I guess he won't be Bexar County Sheriff anytime soon.
And if this plan was implemented, will Williams remain in space through February of 2025? It is 5:06. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Terry McCurdy, traffic and weather coming up.
All right, I brought her mic up so we won't forget. I hate that, man. I forget. I'm sorry.
There's an Amazon delivery on my porch when it's dark outside.
That's amazing, dude.
It is a 5:05 a.m. delivery.
Wow.
So weird.
It is weird. Now, I've had them come at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But never that early in the morning. I think we're like on the, last on the delivery out in Floresville. So we always get them in the evening.
Uh-oh.
Except for on
Last
Saturday.
seen July 15th. Jeannie Chavez. Let's look into her boyfriend or spouse.
Yep. Or ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or ex-spouse.
Last seen downtown, Aganeer Avenue. Dudes are such jerks.
They are.
If you want, if she breaks up with you,
Move
or
on.
if you want to
Move on. Move on.
don't kill her, you idiot.
We're back.
Tommy gets a free gym membership at age 65. I didn't know that. Tommy, who gives you a free gym membership at 65? Because I'm going to have to look into that in about a year. Hector Gomez, what is up? Yeah, exactly, Travis. We want to know where Tommy gets that deal.
I know you can get half off at Denny's when you're 55. Or a discount, I should say. Discount at Denny's.
It was during COVID. So maybe even 2020, I go into a Taco Cabana and order some breakfast. And I look at the thing, senior citizen discount. I'm like, what? A, thank you. But B, do I look that old? Jeez.
Wow. I get ticked off when they do that, man, because I'm not a senior yet. Damn it.
I was,
here we go.
If that was 2020, I was 4 years younger than right now. Welcome into this beautiful day, Thursday, August 8th, 2024. 11 days until the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. 30 days until Taylor Swift's boyfriend opens up the NFL season against the Baltimore Ravens. 33 days until the September 10th presidential debate. Good luck with that. 84 days until Halloween and 89 days until the 2024 election. What could possibly go wrong? Charity McCurdy, how are you this morning?
Fabulous on this Friday Eve, this Throwback Thursday, might I add. Doing pretty well.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, since it is Throwback Thursday, let's go around the horn. Charity, what Throwback Thursday t-shirt are you wearing?
I am wearing my 2016 concert t-shirt from the Cure concert in Austin in May of that year at the Frank Irwin Center. It was the last concert I ever went to. Isn't that sad? And they started out with my favorite Cure song of all time, Out of This World. We were on our feet. It was the most amazing, majestic show. It was incredible.
I once had a Charity McCurdy sighting at a Roger Waters concert in Austin.
Yes,
Wow.
I remember that.
I sat right next to her at a KISS show at the Verizon Amphitheater.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was, I had such a social life back then. It was amazing.
Now, could you show the people? Because they would like
Show
to see
the people?
Yeah,
On
Okay.
YouTube.
Yeah, they would like to
YouTube.
see it. There it is.
There's the
There it
t-shirt
is.
on
Cure.
YouTube.
Woo!
Very nice. The Cure.
There you go.
No, he's got the back. Got the
Very
whole,
cool. Very
twirl
cool.
back.
Right on.
Very cool.
I
t-shirt.
like it.
Mr. T, yours is unique.
I am wearing a 96 Rock shirt from when Joe Anthony was on 96 Rock. And the best part of this shirt
Here we go.
is the back.
The back of the shirt. Let's see if it gets on camera. It does. The back of the shirt says "Kiss sucks."
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
shots fired. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I was working at KZEP at the time. I was the remote engineer, and I was at all the remotes. And some guy came in wearing the shirt. And I said, "Dude, I'll give you a KZEP shirt if you give me that shirt." He goes, "Sure." So take it off.
Fair trade. Fair trade.
Yeah, very fair trade. And yours?
I've been a NASA
space cadet
freak since I was a child. When I was a child in 1969, I watched Apollo 11 land on the moon. So I'm wearing a T-shirt from the National Air and Space Museum commemorating the 50th of Apollo 11. So it's an Apollo 11. It's got the Apollo 11 official patch.
Yep.
And Buzz Aldrin, the iconic photo taken by Neil Armstrong on the surface of the moon. Buzz Aldrin may indeed be my favorite astronaut for a lot of reasons.
He's got a great name.
He's got a great name. And if you're an idiot and you come up to him and say, "You never landed on the moon," he will punch you in the face. Rightfully so. He will, and I support him, Buzz Aldrin. Tell you what, let's, you know our T-shirts. We want to know your T-shirt.
Yeah.
Send us a photo on this Throwback Thursday. Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunny and hot today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. 103 today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. 80 degrees in Leon Valley, 78 at the Snake Farm, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 5:13.
San Antonio's first news. We were going to actually, you've got some audio?
Yes, I do.
Introduce this audio.
Today is National Pickleball Day.
There's a brand new game. Everybody seems to want to play. Even though at first it may sound lame from its funny name. Let's play pickleball. Badminton and tennis, come on, babe, get with it. It's like ping pong, but bigger. Everyone's a winner. Bring your sweat socks and yacht rock. Baby, won't you join me for some pickleball? We'll buy some gear and maybe we'll turn pro. Everybody here wants to know how to play pickleball.
Nice. And a yacht rock reference.
I know.
In that
and by the
song.
way, we're undefeated.
Yeah, Charity, have we mentioned to you lately that
Not today.
Mr. T and I are undefeated in pickleball?
You know, I'm feeling lighter on my feet these days, so
All right.
I think we need to have a rematch.
Challenge accepted.
I think now, your partner, right after that loss,
Yeah.
his name was Jeremy.
Interesting.
He resigned in shame from this company.
Never to be
thinking
heard from
maybe
again.
Either Andrew Zimmel or you can
Ooh.
trade Andrew for a future draft pick known as Randy Beamer.
Oh, now we're talking.
Charity
That-
and Beamer.
Now we're
'Cause
talking.
I don't want to humiliate Andrew Zimmel. We love Andrew, but I think Mr. Big Shot, the most iconic television newsman, the most trusted man in
Woo.
San Antonio.
Shots fired.
I think maybe we could administer some humility and some humiliation to Randy Beamer.
and if you've ever wondered, Charity, why they call it pickleball, we learned this.
This is amazing. I did not know this until this morning.
The guy who invented it named it after his dog, Pickles.
Oh,
Because
that's
he would
cute.
always grab the ball and run
off with it. Yes. So he called it pickleball.
All right. I think you need to present this to Randy Beamer tomorrow, even though we'll be drinking beer during that pickleball game and he'll be drinking a Polar Pop with Pellegrino in
And
it.
he
Who
probably
knows?
won't sell. He probably won't spill any of his.
Yeah, I know. He's so responsible. But I'm down. Let's do it.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
We are undefeated, though.
I know.
I warn you.
I know.
Fair warning.
Yep.
And if we win, we'll be talking about it for another 2 years.
I know.
At least.
Lots more coming up. Hey, it is back to school for some kids already. Charity is going to be doing the back to school mom thing on Monday. We got a back to school question for you coming up. WOAI News Time 5:16.
Hey, everybody.
Sam Tobias missed Charity's T-shirt.
Oh, you can go to Instagram and check it out.
That's
check out
true.
the
It's on
video.
Instagram
Yes,
right
it
now.
is.
I told him wait till the end of the show, then go back and watch the beginning of the video.
Oh no,
So,
no, but you can go to Instagram, check it out.
in fact, I might even be able to show you that if Andrew has already uploaded it, which I'm confident.
Ooh, Rush Time Machine, great
There
one.
it is, right there. There's her cure.
There you go. It's there,
We'll
everybody.
give you some audio.
Yeah.
The Cure, their 2016 concert in Austin at the Frank Irwin Center. They opened with my all-time favorite Cure song, "Out of This World." I was on my feet. It was the best time ever. And I know she feels sorry for me. But speaking of concerts, there's big news out of Austria. Taylor Swift concerts have been canceled because of a terror plot, and 2 people have been arrested.
Yes.
My Throwback Thursday t-shirt, Apollo 11. I'm a space freak. I watched it as it unfolded in 1969. Of course, Buzz Aldrin photo by Neil Armstrong. Buzz is hanging in there strong today. You millennials, if you try to say we didn't go to the moon, Buzz will punch you in the face. And on my Throwback Thursday, I'm running last 96 Rocks t-shirt. And I got this shirt when I worked at KZF. I traded with a listener that came in to be remote. I traded him a KZF shirt for this one. Now, this is a very rare one because not all the 96 Rock shirts have this.
Kiss sucks.
He likes your shirt.
Bert, welcome in. Thank you.
Bert!
Woo!
God, look at that. Never been so happy for weather before in my life. My daughter's flying up to Maine. She's actually flying into DC today. She leaves at 7 this morning. Thinks she's going to be right ahead of all this crap, man.
Wow.
And then she leaves tomorrow to go to, tomorrow to go to
Is she
Maine.
applying the Aaron Real hack?
I
Take
told
the
her.
first flight of
yeah,
the day.
she's on the first flight
First
this
flight
morning.
of the day. Yeah.
Tomorrow, I don't think she's on the first flight from
Okay.
DC to it's actually from Maryland to Maine. And then they're headed to Boston for a Rangers Red Sox game at Fenway, sitting right behind the Rangers dugout.
Astros beat the Rangers
I know.
6-4 yesterday.
And I told her, I said,
move back into the first
are
place.
you going to wear Rangers gear? And she said, yeah. I said, just watch out. And she goes, that's okay. I'm with a couple guys they'll take up for me. All right. You gonna throw it to her?
Yes, sir. Since we're late.
Yeah. Well, it was worth it. Stand by.
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together, then we have a question for you. It has something to do about school, something to do with school. Charity, what stories are you following?
Taylor Swift is canceling her concert in Austria this weekend because of an alleged terror plot. The 2 astronauts who traveled to the International Space Station on Boeing Starliner spacecraft could be stuck in space until next year. And San Antonio's former poet laureate is suing the city for firing him. We'll have details coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
It is going to be hot. Just how hot? We welcome in News 4 San Antonio meteorologist Jeanette Kaye. Good morning, Jeanette. 78 degrees here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 522.
San Antonio's first news. That's Mr. T. She's Charity. I'm Chris. Andrew Zimmel flying the Millennium Falcon, running the YouTube stream at 1200 WOAI and avoiding humiliation by letting Randy Beamer pair with Charity McCurdy in our upcoming pickleball grudge match.
That would be epic. I could see it now.
Woo!
I'm ready.
Well, Randy Beamer in pickleball shorts. That should be. You normally see him. Or I wonder if he'd just wear a suit and a tie. He'd be in his TV news anchor gear.
Oh, no.
Suit and a tie. And
watch, this guy's probably a ringer.
Yeah, I know.
He's been out playing on the circuit for a while.
Tennis shorts, high socks. Yeah. Even like a headband. Beamer is going to really look
if
the
he puts
part.
the headband on, watch out.
Wow.
That's all I got to say.
We're in big trouble. Well, it's back to school already for some kids in the area. For Charity's child, it's back to school on Monday. Mr. T, you've got a question for the people.
Yeah, so we want to know your best or favorite teacher and which was your teacher you had a crush on? Because I guarantee everybody had a crush on at least one teacher.
All right, and you want to come clean with your teacher crush?
Miss Carr, first grade. She
Carr.
was hot, and she drove a brand new 1968 Camaro, and I was even a car guy back then, and she was just so sweet and nice and pretty.
Holmes High School, 1975. I'm a sophomore, and they brought the boys and the girls together into the gym.
What were they
to have a
thinking?
co-ed gym class, and just out of college was Coach Sandy Petrie was her name. Coach Petrie, and on that day, it is emblazoned upon my consciousness forever and ever, and not just mine. Paul Berry will back me up on this. Miss Petrie, Coach Petrie, demonstrated the trampoline.
What a country.
She was showing us how to do
country.
different. I was a 15-year-old boy, and I was laser focused on what Coach Petrie was demonstrating.
Yeah, watching how her feet left the trampoline, I'm sure.
My God. I was hot for teacher.
Woo.
I'm just saying. Charity, and you were pleading the fifth on this one?
Come
Okay.
on.
I hopefully most people are still asleep
Yeah, we're
because
doing it
I
early.
grew up in
Nobody
this town.
hears this.
It's just us.
Okay,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
At Randolph, it was probably Coach Schuster and Coach West. They were very good-looking
Look at this,
coaches,
man.
but
See?
they were also no nonsense. While I found them attractive, I also lived in constant fear, like I didn't want to make them angry. So I was a little conflicted. But yes, I mean, great coaches / teachers at Randolph.
I got to know. Andrew Zimmel. Come on, man. Come clean.
Come on.
We know
Everybody
you-
had
yeah,
one.
everybody had one.
had a teacher they liked a lot.
That's right. Wow.
Well, you two at third grade and first grade, at least
Hey.
Charity and I had the decency to be in high school to have.
Just say I
Crushes.
was ahead of my time.
I think it was
Wow.
middle school, Chris,
Oh, middle
actually, for
school,
me.
okay.
Sorry, I was a little
All right,
early
I
on
was-
that.
Well, it took you so long, Chris.
I was always a late bloomer. Charity, how do people get us their favorite teacher and maybe their teacher crush stories?
The free iHeartRadio app. You search 1200 WOAI. You hit the red talkback button. That's the circle. 30 seconds. Once you hit it, it's like leaving a voicemail. Let us know your favorite teacher / teacher crush.
I can't wait to hear RK's teacher crush.
Oh,
It's going to be RK. We're waiting on your call.
yes.
All right, much more coming up. We got to dive into this scary Taylor Swift story out of Austria. We'll dive into that coming up. WOAI News Time, 526.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Happy birthday, Malia. Strike
Wow.
a pose, won't
Strike
you?
a pose. Oh, RK's there.
Is RK? Hey, RK, what is up, man?
What's
I just
up, RK?
gave you a shout out on the radio, man. Welcome in. Happy birthday, Maureen. We're looking at Ken's Five's birthdays at the moment. Nice arrow. Nice arrow
Yeah.
to the
Ear?
earring.
I wonder why. What's so special about that damn earring? That's what I want to know.
That's a great question. Happy birthday, Virginia. Nice haircut, Virginia. I bet you're wearing
Virginia is
comfortable
for
shoes.
haircuts.
You're wearing flannel and comfortable shoes.
Yep. Kemper, good morning. Oh, hello.
Camper, welcome in. Free shake tomorrow at Whataburger.
Yes, we do have an update, Kemper.
Thank God.
Yeah, Andrew was on it yesterday. Should be receiving them sometime, maybe as early as tomorrow. So just keep an eye out for on your email, and they will get to you. So yes, we did take care of that yesterday. Andrew was busy talking to all kinds of people at corporate and all over the place, and he got it nailed down, man.
And what we did not know, and this is a
surprising
flaw in the system, Andrew was told typically we don't get the tickets in-house until 48 hours before the concert, which nobody ever told us that.
Yeah.
We would have told you that if we knew that.
Yeah, they're trying to eliminate resale of tickets, which, come on, man.
Just give people their
tickets. Give them their tickets. If we're giving them away, give them to them.
But thanks for reminding us, Kemper, because it motivated, because we didn't want to screw you out of Barry Manilow tickets.
No.
So it motivated us to get to the bottom of it, which Andrew did.
He did. He spent the good part of yesterday tracking down everybody involved.
No, you're not being a pest. You won those tickets.
No, not at all.
They should be in your hands already, so you can make plans.
If I was in your shoes, I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make plans, and
we do though. Kemper want a full report.
Yes.
Ideally the next day.
Yes.
I love Barry Manilow because it's a weeknight though, and I am out of vacation days.
And we're going to see Journey the next night. So yeah, there is
the
that.
Next night, but the next night's a Friday night.
I know.
Or are we going to see Journey?
We are.
There's infighting.
No, they're not canceling the U.S. tour. They're canceling Europe.
Yeah.
Hey, Def Leppard's there, man. Come on.
Arnel Pineda, man.
Steve Miller and Def Leppard's
very demanding. Yeah. Arnel Pineda wants,
because he dyed his hair pink.
He wants the correct jelly beans in the green room. All right, I'm going.
That's what happened, Sam. That is exactly what happened.
I'm going to step out for a moment, let you guys enjoy Mr. T and Charity.
Look, if she's taking off work the next day, way to go, Kemper. Smart move.
If I didn't burn all my vacation days, I would. I just can't do it. Sorry, Barry. Although we are going to have Barry on the show on Monday.
Monday morning.
Monday, Barry Manilow will be on this show. We're not kidding.
We're not kidding.
The Barry Manilow.
Not Harry Manilow, not Terry Manilow, Barry Manilow. Barry. Yeah, you're not getting a backup, a tribute artist, as they call them now. What?
Extra key for your home or business? Need it safe or valuable? Guarantee Lock and Safe can help. They're a full-service locksmith shop that can handle your commercial, residential, and automotive needs for a large selection of key and key accessories. Padlocks and safes, they have the solution you're looking for. They specialize in auto chip keys. And before you go to the dealership, stop by their store on Cambridge west of Fredericksburg Road at 105-020. Call them at 494-5500. 494-5500. Guarantee Lock and Safe.
Hey, I'm going to let you guys enjoy Charity for a second. I got some work I got to do.
.30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, a terrorist plot thwarted in Austria targeting Taylor Swift concerts. And the city's former poet laureate is taking legal action after being fired. We'll have more ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday, heat advisory and another air quality alert day as well. Sunshine, a high of 102. Tonight's low near 75. Right now, 81 degrees. Well, Vice President Harris and her new running mate are campaigning in all of the big swing states, and Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports the Republican vice presidential candidate isn't far behind.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance spoke at an aviation ground support manufacturing company and was asked why he's in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the same day as Vice President Harris.
Well, we wanted to make sure there was a contrast, in part because the media has been so dishonest about Kamala Harris's record, and in part because they refuse to ask her questions.
He was also asked about the insistence by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on calling Vance weird. Vance said after Walz's first rally,
His wife comes up to him, and Tim Walz does what any normal Midwestern guy would do, seeing his beautiful wife on stage after his speech. He gives her a firm handshake. Right? That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
Vance said he thought open borders and letting rioters burn down Minneapolis after George Floyd's death were weird decisions. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Speaking at a rally in Detroit, Michigan on his first full day as her VP pick, Tim Walz warned voters about a second Trump presidency.
We know Donald Trump's taking us backwards, and don't believe the act. He's playing dumb. He knows exactly what Project 2025 is going to do to our personal liberties. Destroy unions, rig the economy for the ultra wealthy.
Trump has tried to distance himself from Project 2025, a lengthy plan by the Heritage Foundation to overhaul the government. He says some of the ideas in it are abysmal and absolutely ridiculous. Well, police in Austria have foiled an alleged terror attack plot on Taylor Swift concerts in Austria. Fox's Kevin Cork has details.
Tens of thousands of Taylor Swift fans are devastated after 3 planned shows in Vienna, Austria, set for this week, were all canceled over concerns of a planned terrorist attack at her concert stadium. In fact, law enforcement officials in Austria say they've recently arrested not one but 2 extremists involved in the plot, including a 19-year-old who allegedly had pledged an oath of allegiance to the militant terror group ISIS. Investigators are reportedly evaluating chemical substances found on the suspect, whom they believe was already taking the, quote, preparatory actions of a potential attack.
The singer's website says all tickets will be automatically refunded within the next 10 business days. San Antonio's former poet laureate is suing the city for firing him. Neftali De Leon held the position for 4 months last year. In August of 2023, De Leon posted a poem on his Facebook page that contained words that some readers described as racist. Soon afterwards, De Leon says city officials told him he could resign or be terminated. De Leon is suing San Antonio for breach of contract and defamation. His attorney claims the firing violated De Leon's First Amendment rights. A man who was wanted for sexually abusing a child is dead after getting into a shootout with police in Northeast Fort Worth. A Tarrant County Sheriff's deputy was shot 3 times, but is expected to be okay. The situation began to unfold during the noon hour yesterday as a task force tried to arrest the man and he opened fire. The SWAT team moved in after the man claimed he had others in the house with him. Fort Worth Police Chief Neil Noakes says they were concerned the man could be setting up an ambush.
That was definitely a fear. We already knew that he was violent. We already knew that he was armed. So obviously the threat of an ambush was a huge concern for us.
Deputy Todd Tipton was treated and released from the hospital. The name of the wanted man has not been released. The 2 astronauts who traveled to the International Space Station on Boeing Starliner spacecraft could be in space until next year. Nick Harper has more on the latest update from NASA.
For now, the 2 astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, remain stuck in space following the problems during Starliner's inaugural crewed flight. It remains unclear if the craft is safe to bring them back to Earth.
The astronauts were originally scheduled to return after 8 days when they first went up in the Starliner in June. Issues with helium leaks and thruster failures have forced the astronauts to remain aboard the ISS for more than 60 days. NASA said if tests show a return flight on Starliner to be too risky, then the astronauts could be forced to wait and come back on Boeing rival SpaceX's Crew Dragon in February of next year. Well, a hazmat situation that unfolded during the grand opening of a new family resort south of Houston sent 16 people to the hospital.
The Great Wolf Lodge in Webster was having its grand opening 3 weeks ahead of schedule when a third-party firm improperly mixed pool chemicals and created a hazmat call to first responders.
The chemical reaction occurred. There was a cloud which affected the people that were outside in the area, which they injected some of this, which they had some breathing problems, so they were transported to hospitals.
Webster Fire Chief Spencer Dean says 16 third-party contractors working around the pool were affected and hospitalized. Another company is working to safely clean the chemical tanks. No guests or staff were affected, nor was the operation of the new lodge. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
It is 5:37 now with breaking crime news from around the country. Here's Nancy Grace. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, a check of your money and the world of business. We say good morning to Ed Corey live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, things said, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
If you're a Swiftie like Charity McCurdy, you'll recognize that song. I outed myself in front of Andrew Zimmel and Mr. T this morning, Charity, admitting that I can't name a single Taylor Swift song. I apologize to you and Swifties everywhere. I'll have to correct that someday.
You're missing out, Chris.
And
There's
that's what,
a whole
that's
other
what
life that
Travis
awaits.
Kelsey tells me.
Well, he would know.
I'm going to work on that.
No, he is.
But I do appreciate and understand the phenomenon that she is. And my God, people must be very bummed out in Vienna, Austria this morning. Charity, you've been reporting on this, and you are our resident Swiftie. What is going on with her tour?
Basically, alleged terror plot. Austrian officials said 2 suspects were arrested yesterday. One of them, a 19-year-old Austrian citizen who allegedly pledged allegiance to ISIS and was planning an attack on Swiss Vienna concert she's scheduled to perform, today. Tomorrow and Saturday. Each concert expected to draw an estimated 65,000 fans.
Wow. So there's 200,000 fans in Vienna that are walking around the streets crying right now, because I saw some video yesterday and they were just upset.
Oh my God,
Can you
yes.
blame them?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Americans that probably traveled there because a lot of stuff is cheaper when it comes to Taylor Swift, everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, understandably, people are out of a lot of money. They're going to get refunds for these concerts that were canceled in the next 10 business days. But I mean, safety first. And Taylor Swift has talked about her fear of a violent attack at one of her concerts. She penned an article back in 2019, and that was in reference to the Ariana Grande concert bombing ISIS in Manchester, England, that killed 22, injured 200 more. And she also referenced that Las Vegas Country Music Festival shooting that killed 64 and injured over 400.
And from what I understand, I saw a lot of reports on this yesterday that their concerts are considered soft targets, meaning not a lot of security. So I think that needs to be changed.
It does. I still go back to this, and I've told it to you guys before. An open air stadium in the era of drones.
Oh my God.
God forbid someone used some kind of technology like that to get either a pathogen or an explosive in there. But Charity, as we learned on 9/11, one of the reasons those targets, the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, the targets were symbols of what America is. And Taylor Swift is the biggest American pop icon there is. People my age think Elvis Presley. As big as Elvis was to Taylor Swift fans around the world, I think it's a similar dynamic. I'm not comparing her music to Elvis in any way. I'm a huge Elvis fan, but I could see how an ISIS would love to rain terror and death on the people, and perhaps even, God forbid, Taylor Swift herself at one of her concerts.
Yeah, and sadly, they had already had plans to beef up security measures hours before the official cancellation came. But I think it was probably the right call to make. You just can't be too careful, especially this day and age.
Always err on the side of caution, as I always say. And look, that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Totally agree. All right, we're going to go back in time with Flashback, and we are getting talkbacks from you.
Oh, yeah.
As back to school is upon us, but we're going back in time with you, your favorite teacher, and yes, you can come clean with your teacher crush. We all did.
Now, if you don't want to call the teacher out by name, that's okay.
That's
Just
okay.
a description would be nice.
I would prefer, though.
I would, too.
We're all adults.
Yeah, they understand.
Yeah. So
and it's a compliment.
It's a compliment.
If that teacher is local still to this day, somebody's going to say, hey, somebody had a crush on you.
Yeah, it's not like we're asking a teacher to say which student you had a crush on. That's wrong.
That would be wrong
That's
and
wrong.
weird. That would be wrong and weird.
Very.
All right. Flashback coming up. WOAI News Time 546.
And we're back. Yes, I am one of those guys.
10:30 this morning, France versus Germany.
Amen.
Go France. 2:30 this afternoon, USA versus Serbia.
Kemper, that's funny.
Go USA.
Maybe Trump can hire Taylor's security team.
You know what? That would probably be an upgrade.
That's funny. And we're going to hear from a school teacher coming up. Our favorite school
Is he
teacher.
already in here?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Wonder who has a crush on him.
That's a great question.
Stephen and Lytle.
Yeah.
If you're listening out there, kids, and you have a crush on Stephen and Lytle,
yeah, let us know.
Tell your mom to let you call in.
Tell your mom. They could have to tell their mom how to get on the talkback is how they would would work.
My crush is Stephen. Teacher Stephen and Lytle.
Mr. Huntsucker. See the oh wow. Okay, this ain't gonna be a problem. Okay, wait a minute.
What do you got?
Hey, this is Johnny the Geek. I just want to let you know that I did actually have sex with my teacher. I mean, I was homeschooled and all, but I can hear you groaning. Don't hit me because I'm a playa.
Wow.
Okay, there's two ways to look at that.
Yeah.
If you're homeschooled,
Yeah. Is that mom?
yeah,
Is that big sister?
Come on, man.
My God.
Come on. We got to do that one before 6.
Yeah.
Because I got questions.
Mhm.
Hang on. I've got the bumper coming into that last segment, all right? I'm going to play Hot for Teeth.
Forgive me for eating some apple slices on video. I know you don't tune in to watch me eat,
Well, some people do, Chris.
but I usually wolf down
Some people pay
like
for
a
that.
hard-boiled egg or something right before the show just to have eaten something. So anyway, I apologize.
You should.
So rude of me. But they are apple slices. I'm trying to eat healthily.
Usually soaked in vodka, but that's okay.
Yeah, but still, it's apple.
Yeah, it's still healthy. Apple a day. You know what they say.
Mhm. Ah,
Okay. Looks like she got a dentist and medicine going on in her hair, but it's the background.
I saw that. I
It's the
saw that
background,
thing. Yeah.
It's the background.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait a minute.
I saw Tulsi Gabbard yesterday saying, because Kamala Harris is a woman, very early on as president, she would want to show how tough she is by getting involved in a military adventure.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
I'm not
I
necessarily.
don't think anybody wants that.
It is time to go back in time, but what year will we land in? You try to figure it out. We'll try to figure it out. Let's play flashback. Oh, and pays no taxes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Now, Mr. T, we know Charity is a Swiftie, but you love Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, and Harry Styles.
But see, I'm
this
a
should
little,
be right in your wheelhouse.
I'm a little confused because it said Video Music Awards. They don't show videos on music stations or
No.
TV like VH1. And so I'm a little lost. Charity, you have any idea?
I think 2020.
2020, a big COVID year. Let's find out.
Way to go, Charity.
McCurdy for the win. And Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, pay your damn taxes. That's all
Pay mine.
That's all I ask. Charity, what stories are you following?
Senator J.D. Vance is accusing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz of stolen valor. Chemical substances have been found at the house of a 19-year-old Austrian suspected of planning an attack on an upcoming Taylor Swift concert in Vienna. And San Antonio's financial performance is getting high marks. We'll have details coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunshine today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. 103 today, 101 tomorrow, 101 on Saturday. It is 80 degrees at the Pearl downtown, 79 in China Grove, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 5:52. I'm sorry, wait, hang on, Andrew.
Hot for teacher. I have to admit, when Mr. T proposed this topic for a talk back, I thought, nobody's going to admit publicly who their teacher crush was.
Sure.
And I thought Charity would plead the fifth. No, Charity came clean. I did. Mr. T did. And we're getting lots of talkbacks, and some of them are a little odd. Charity, you're about to find that out. But first, for people who, in honor of back to school, we want to know your favorite teacher and why, and or your teacher crush. Charity, how do people get that information to us?
The free iHeartRadio app. You search 1200 WOAI, hit that red circle. That's the talkback button. Once you hit it, 30 seconds to sound off.
Now, I'm going to play this one, and you'll understand why I was a little, off in that, didn't have the song ready and everything, because this one had us questioning a lot of things. Here it is.
Yeah, this is Johnny the Geek. I just want to let you know that I did actually have sex with my teacher. And I was homeschooled and all, but I can hear you groaning. Don't hate me because I'm a player.
So I got questions here.
Johnny, okay, to recap, Johnny the Geek had sex with his teacher and he was homeschooled.
It's a little icky, isn't it?
Okay, I don't know where to begin. How do we unpack that? I'm assuming this was not a relative.
See?
A relative. This was some kind of tutor that was brought in. Around the same age, hopefully.
Yeah, we're sitting here discussing it.
Johnny, I hope that wasn't mom.
Yes, please.
And I hope it wasn't a sister.
Please.
Or any family member.
Family member. That's why we had to play it before 6 o'clock, because I'm saying it was I got like
Johnny the Geek. Johnny. Little Johnny.
Wow. Little Johnny. All right, let's get a
wow.
safe one from our good friend Rooster.
Hey, good morning, Chris, Tim, and Charity. Hey, it's Rooster. My favorite teacher was my art teacher back at South San High, class of 83. Yeah, she wore those stockings, with that line going up and down the back of those stockings. Yeah, she was pretty. She was kind of like the Martha Quinn of MTV, and she taught me a lot more than art, I'll tell you that much. But the sad part is she's probably an old hag now. So, anyway, you guys have a great one. Rooster.
Rooster, you had to go there.
Oh, my goodness.
Little do teachers know the influence they're having on young, impressionable minds.
Wow. All right, here's a good one from Roadrunner, and he's got a backup to it as well. Here it is.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. This is the Roadrunner. I had an incident happen in the 5th grade with our gorgeous teacher, Miss Brinkley. I got caught talking. You had to sit next to her desk at her desk, and she was at the chalkboard wearing this little red skirt. She turned around from the chalkboard to sit down, and the skirt got caught on her chair. She was wearing red hose with a red garter belt. And oh my God, my life changed forever.
So did mine.
Red garter belt.
Here's the follow-up on this one.
Hey, this is Roadrunner. I wanted to finish up on that story. Yeah, her skirt got stuck on the chair, and she didn't notice. I was just sitting there just looking. I said, oh my God. I've never been to heaven, but this must be what it looks like. Oh, Lord. Y'all have a great morning. God bless.
Such a detailed description.
It made an impression on young Roadrunner.
Wow.
It's things that you don't forget.
It made an impression.
It is. And what about hearing from our favorite school teacher out in Lytle?
Hey, guys. Stephen from Lytle. A school question. Oh, boy. My favorite teacher, Mr. Ralph Sides, high school band director. He was so awesome, taught me so many things, inspired me to be a band director for 3 years until I realized I cannot stand junior high kids. Crush, senior in high school, this kindergarten teacher, petite, cute as a button. We had a reading program where seniors would go read to the kindergartners. I thought I'd get her class. No, I got some teacher that'd been there since 1875.
So we were talking about this during the break on the live stream, and apparently Stephen was listening on the live stream because he followed up with this.
Oh my gosh, guys. Stephen from Lotto, I was just listening to y'all's conversation in the commercial break. That is absolutely hilarious. Now I'm kind of halfway terrified. What if somebody actually does call in? I'm kind of scared, but that was funny. You had me rolling.
Yep.
Have a good day.
We were talking whether there was somebody out there that had a crush on Stephen and Lytle.
Yeah, Stephen is a teacher in Lytle.
And we're saying, hey, if they are, have your mom or dad, let you call in.
Call
and then
in.
we're saying no, that they'll show their mom or dad how to call in.
My crush is on my teacher, Stephen.
Mr. Huntsucker.
In Lytle.
That might be awkward for the upcoming school year.
That would be awkward.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we look for the truth here. So be truthful, kids.
Yes,
I'm just
please.
saying.
But not too much truth.
Yeah, we got
Johnny
a little
the
too
Geek,
much,
yeah.
little too much truth from Johnny the Geek earlier. All right, lots more coming up. Tropical Storm Debbie continues to wreak havoc. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Charity with all the stories you need to know about on this Thursday, Friday Eve, coming right up. WOAI News Time, 5:58. Quick.
Hi, everybody.
Bob Beavers, Dan Schreiber.
I remember Dan Schreiber. He was still there when I was there.
Wow.
'Cause I graduated in 81, so I was a little behind you. But yeah, I remember him. My sister loved him as well. He was a good teacher,
Very
apparently.
nice. That man, he made an impact, made
Yeah,
an
he did.
impression. Charity coming up with the news.
Yeah, Kemper, I saw your talk back. You are correct. I got the icks on that one, too.
Yeah.
That was just because so many things were going through my mind. Like, what?
That is
Homeschooled?
that's very.
What? What?
He must have been joking.
I hope so.
then his
God, I
punchline
hope
was,
so.
"Don't hate me because I'm a player."
I hope he was
But-
joking. God,
oh
I
my
hope he was joking.
God.
If not, man, therapy is what I'm thinking. Therapy, sir. Therapy. All right. Enjoy Charity. I'm going to go outside and check the weather. Chris, you going to hang?
I'm going to step out for a minute.
All
Charity
right.
will have
Charity
the
will
news
have
you
you
can listen in.
entertained with the news and everything that's going
Woo.
on.
Six o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, terrorist target Taylor Swift concerts, and Texas carries out its third execution of the year. Details coming up first. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Heat advisory continues. It is another air quality alert day. Sunny, a high of 102. Tonight's low near 75. Right now, 81 degrees. Well, Taylor Swift's concerts in Austria have been canceled after police arrested two men for allegedly plotting terror attacks on the shows. Here's Fox's Christina Coleman.
Authorities announced they arrested 2 people who they identified as suspected extremists. Austria's Interior Ministry said one of them is a 19-year-old Austrian citizen who they believe became radicalized on the internet and pledged an oath of allegiance to the Islamic State group. Authorities also confirmed they obtained chemical substances that they say they are now evaluating. Tens of thousands of fans were expected to attend the Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna. The event's organizer, Barracuda Music, said, quote, with confirmation from government officials of a planned terrorist attack at Ernst Happel Stadium, we have no choice but to cancel the 3 scheduled shows for everyone's safety.
And the singer's website says all tickets will be automatically refunded within the next 10 business days. At a manufacturing plant in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Ohio Senator and Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance told workers and members of the press that Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, has been a failure on public safety due to his handling of Black Lives Matter riots in 2020.
I'm scandalized by this guy pretending that he stands for working people. Working people need to live in communities with public safety. Working people need to be able to build a business and know that some hoodlum is going to come along and burn it to the ground because of a political issue. Working people need the police to be supported in their communities.
And Vance also accused Walz of stolen valor, claiming Walz abandoned his unit in the National Guard just before it was deployed to Iraq. Speaking at a rally in Detroit, Walz spoke about the difference between the 2 campaigns.
All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is they try to steal the joy from this country. They try and steal the joy. But you know what? You know what? Our next president brings the joy. She emanates the joy.
Real Clear Politics polls show Vice President Harris leading the race in Michigan by 2 points over former President Trump. Well, 3 major credit rating agencies say San Antonio's financial performance is stable or positive. City officials say San Antonio has some of the highest bond ratings of any major U.S. city, and recently released bond ratings, Standard & Poor's and Moody's ratings both rank San Antonio as stable, and Fitch ratings rates the city as positive. The ratings are unchanged from last year. City officials say a sale of general obligation bonds, certificates of obligation, and tax notes is scheduled for the week of August 19th. Well, a death row inmate who claimed he was intellectually disabled did not get a reprieve last night in Huntsville. Barbara Schwartz has more.
54-year-old Arthur Lee Burton got a lethal injection for the July 1997 murder and attempted rape of Houston mother of 3 Nancy Edelman. He strangled her with her shoelaces. Hannah Haney is with the Texas prison system.
In his final statement, Burton thanked those who supported and prayed for him. He apologized to the victims and his family. He expressed hope that they and himself would find peace.
His lawyers had argued that reports by 2 experts and records show Burton had significant intellectual limitations, which made him exempt from the death penalty. Prosecutors countered the defense, waited until days before the execution to raise the claims.
The execution was the 3rd in Texas so far this year. Tropical Storm Debbie has made landfall in South Carolina. It's the 2nd landfall this week for the storm that first roared ashore Monday morning in Florida as a Cat 1. It's now forecast to slowly make its way north into Carolina, Virginia, and beyond. The storm has been blamed for at least 6 deaths. And NASA says 2 Boeing Starliner astronauts may be stuck at the International Space Station until next year. Here's Fox's Shanley Painter.
So the astronauts were supposed to return to Earth in mid-June after 8 days in space, but helium leaks and propulsion issues on the Boeing Starliner left astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams stranded at the International Space Station, now going on 2 months, and tensions are running high between NASA and Boeing over the readiness of the spacecraft to return to Earth. It took years of stumbles and delays before Boeing finally launched its first spacecraft carrying NASA astronauts to the ISS, the company scrapping a flight in 2023 after realizing adhesive tape on board was flammable.
NASA and Boeing are hoping to avoid a potential disaster if the Starliner spacecraft malfunctions during re-entry. It is 6:06, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news, Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charlie Parker. With those were the days at 6:48. He'll also join us in studio at 8:20. I'm Chris Duell, Andrew Zimmel, flying the Millennium Falcon and manning the YouTube live video stream. And you never know. Sometimes we're talking about you on the live video stream. That's what Steven from Lido found out when he tuned into the live video stream. So
very entertaining.
You may want to tune in because we could be talking about you during the commercial breaks. Coming up, Tropical Storm Debbie made a second U.S. landfall yesterday, or actually earlier today, just after midnight. We'll talk about it, where and what is the latest. But first, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunshine today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. 103 today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. It is 78 degrees at the Snake Farm, 78 in Lavernia, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 8:10.
San Antonio's first news coming up. We're getting more talkbacks from you as we get ready for back to school. We're asking you to go back in time when you went to school. You could tell us about your favorite teacher, or you could take a walk on the wild side. Talk to us about your teacher crush. But let's talk a little bit about Tropical Storm Debbie. First, some audio. This is Florida State Senator John Gruters. He represents Sarasota and Manatee counties. He is calling for an investigation into what's been going on.
I'd like the state to have an investigation to determine what happened here. Why are some of these neighborhoods getting flooded like this, where a couple of days after the storm, it's still halfway up the house, halfway in the houses?
Yeah, we've still got floodwaters in Florida. We've got impact in Georgia, and Charity, after midnight, actually 2 a.m. Eastern time, it made landfall again in South Carolina. This time, Debbie, as a tropical storm, made landfall near Bulls Bay, South Carolina.
And it's expected to keep moving inland, continuing to bring heavy rainfall, possible flooding, all the way up through the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast by this weekend. And there's also the threat of tornadoes being spawned. And of course, the power outages. We have at least 6 people that have died as a result of Debbie. And 5 of them were in traffic accidents or fallen trees. The 6th death involved a man in Florida whose body was found after his anchored sailboat partially sank.
Yeah, it's just so sad. And don't think that tropical storm is not dangerous. It's not a hurricane, but it's still a storm. And South Carolina is looking at a possibility of 25 inches of rain.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and we talked about this a few days ago with Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. One of the problems with Tropical Storm Debbie, it is moving so slowly.
Yeah.
You know, T cites the possibility of 25 inches of rain. We just heard from the Florida State Senator Joe Gruters about the flooding that continues in Florida. I mean, this has been wreaking havoc on the region all week long.
And that's why you got to heed the advice of local authorities. I mean, don't try to drive. Don't be outside in general. I mean, again, fallen trees are responsible for a lot of these deaths that are being reported. And this is more common than you realize. A lot of storm-related deaths are because of the debris, like fallen trees and traffic accidents, not, being blown away by, hurricane force winds. It's usually those two things.
And we talk about this a lot whenever there's a storm where you have, flooding waters, and especially in places like South Carolina and Florida, you don't know what's in that water.
Yeah.
There are critters, there's all kinds of disease. I mean, you just don't know.
Well, and when we've had, and again, we talk about the hurricane season expected to be more intense than usual, running into and through November, the Texas Gulf Coast can get hit. So everything we're talking about here, T, going on right now in South Carolina, in Georgia, in Florida, including dangerous waters. I remember recently one of the hurricanes that created all kinds of flood waters around the Houston area part of the problem was so many of those petroleum refineries, the contaminated water was just very, very dangerous for people to get on their skin because, as you know, that water gets on your skin. If you're submerged in that water, it can be absorbed into your body.
And we just got to keep our eyes peeled for the forecast because right now there's no tropical storm activity in the Gulf of Mexico, but there are some models predicting a tropical storm could form in the Gulf as soon as next week.
And if it does, Charity, do you know what the name could be of that storm?
Ernesto!
Yes! We got to get Ernesto Ancira on the show for a comment.
Yeah.
Ernesto,
how do you feel
how
about
does
that?
it feel?
How does it feel to have a storm named after you?
Exactly.
And do you want it to be like a monster hurricane?
No,
or-
I don't want it to hurt anybody.
Yeah,
right.
I just
Just
want
a
it
lot
to
of rain.
sell more cars.
Sell
at
more
Ancira.
cars and rain so we can get some relief.
And I want them to have a tropical storm Ernesto sale at Ancira. and Ernesto, if you're listening, just some marketing advice here.
Because we're blowing away all the competition with our prices.
And what, April, we want to see you on those commercials as well with your dad Ernesto, with an umbrella. So okay, very, very cool. That's so weird. Speaking of weird, we got more talkbacks coming. Back to school is upon us, and we're asking you your favorite teacher and or your teacher crush. Fasten your seatbelts. It could get bumpy. WOAI News Time 6:16.
And we're back. Ernesto Ancira. Hurricane Ernesto Ancira. I love it.
There's Ralph Winton. Do you remember Ralph? Do you remember
Yes,
the little commercials
Ancira Winton.
with the the cartoons?
Yes.
A cartoon
Yes.
Ernesto
Yes.
and a cartoon Ralph
See,
Winton.
I always wondered what happened to Winton.
We need
You
to get
know?
Ernesto on the show and
Yeah,
get to the bottom
dude,
of this.
I gotta know, man.
He probably went missing in 1982. It has never been found.
Yeah. Yeah. Ernesto and Julio Gallo. Way to go, Tim.
That's quite the
and
reference.
thank you for the Strawberry Hill commercial that you sent me.
good. Yeah, that brought
I
back
remember
memories.
those, man.
Yes, that brought back
God,
memories.
yes. I remember drinking that when I was in junior
Oh,
high.
God. Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill.
It was better than Mad Dog 2020.
It was.
Yeah.
I was such a stupid kid. I thought Strawberry Hill was pretty good taste.
I liked it
at the time
because Kool-Aid
Yeah.
was great, man.
Yeah.
And Kool-Aid that made you feel like that was even
Yeah.
better.
Woo!
And Travis remembers those commercials too, because Travis is the same age as I am, so he gets it.
There you go, Travis.
Yeah. Remember the ABC pest controls where, the termites at your golf clubs and your
Dun, dun,
husband
dun,
says
dun,
he's
dun.
had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
those too.
Right.
Love those, man. Yes, TV was my friend when I was young.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of TV. I watched way too much TV when I was young.
But see, little did you know that was all show prep for radio.
Country Quencher was the apple flavored one, Travis.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. How do I know that? I don't know. And then I remember when the Bartles and James and the
those were funny commercials
yes, those
with
were
the
great.
old guys.
Those were great. And what was the California Coolers? You remember those? The wine
vaguely.
coolers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any audio, any parodies here?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But wait,
Let's
we
do the
went
back
late.
to the school one.
We went late though.
Did we?
Is there time?
Oh no, we went late. We can do. We got nothing coming up at 40. We can do whatever we want.
All right, we'll do it there.
You want to do the Olympics back to school medley? Hang on, it's this one. And we're back. Sorry, we're just taking care of a little business. Little business. Little business. Little business. Thank you for your support. Very good, Travis.
Yes, indeed.
And
Bartles and James.
Schoolhouse rocks, man. Dude, those were amazing. I think I was in second or third grade. We had to memorize the preamble to the Constitution.
Wow.
And thank God for Schoolhouse Rock, because we the people in order. I had it in my head and I nailed it. I nailed it. Yeah, thank God for Schoolhouse Rock. And thank you for your support. God, look at that, man. Wow. I don't know which one to look at. I mean, I'm torn. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. Zero, my hero. Yeah, I watch way too much TV.
Oh, I haven't sent you PAGs yet.
No, you haven't.
I need to sign in.
Well, I'm just a Bill. Good one, SWAT Cats.
I am not signed in. Let's do that.
Boom, boom, boom.
I start with the fact that I'll have Dr. Ben Carson on today.
Oh, boy. I didn't know he was
What,
still
no
around.
Trump?
Yeah. Well, he's kind of an unofficial Trump.
Good point.
I'm just a Bill. Anybody know what comes after Ernesto in the...
I saw a list. It'd be easy to find. Yeah, let's see if there's any interesting.
Franny Fred?
20...
Facundo?
2024 Atlantic Storms.
I need some guys, Tito and Facundio. They live together. Facundio. Stand by, Chris. Back to school, Olympic style.
Francine would be next.
What's that?
Francine, Gordon, Helene, Isaac.
Okay, cool. Francine. Who?
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. Now, it is back to school, but Mr. T, it's also Olympic season.
Yeah, so we could put them both together and it would sound something like this.
And now we take you to play-by-play of the back-to-school medley. First up, we see Jenny begging for a new smartphone.
And that's right. Her old iPhone is totally lame. OMG.
Next, we have Sammy. He's on aisle 17, and he's refusing to try on new jeans.
He is having a total meltdown, and his mother is embarrassed and mad.
Meanwhile, over on aisle 2, Brianna is not shopping.
You are right. I think she's texting her boyfriend.
And could care less about school because nobody understands her and she just wants to disappear. I hate you. I hate you. Why do we have to come to this stupid store? That's it for the back to school medley. Stay tuned for the 100-meter race to the bus stop and the freestyle homework challenge.
Charity, can you relate yet?
Not really. No.
Not yet. You
No.
will.
Okay.
We'll check in with you in 3 years.
All right.
Charity, what other stories are you following?
President Biden says he's not confident at all if peaceful transfer of power will take place if Donald Trump loses the election. Taylor Swift has canceled 3 concerts in Vienna after an ISIS-related terror plot was discovered, and Texas schools are preparing for the end of federal pandemic funds. We'll have details coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunshine today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Highs 103 today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. It is 78 degrees at Randolph Air Force Base, 80 in Von Ormy, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time. It's 6:23.
I'm just a fool for your stockings, I believe.
Yeah. San Antonio's first news. Back to school. Some kids already back to school. Charity has a daughter going to school on Monday. So we're asking you on the Talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app, who is your favorite teacher? And maybe did you have a teacher crush? Robert on the YouTube chat writes, I had a crush on my middle school teacher in Uvalde named Mrs. Jackson. Very attractive redhead with beautiful skin. until I found out she was married to the famous Texas Ranger Joaquin Jackson.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops. Run.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get him angry. All right, Mr. T, what do we got?
We might as well check in with Kemper.
Good morning. I didn't have any hot teachers. I think I would remember if I did. But Johnny the Geek, ick. I did want to give a shout out to Mr. Pumphrey at Clark High School. All 4 of my daughters took his World Affairs class and went on to do the Model UN in New York City. He worked the students very hard. They learned a lot, but he was easy on the eyes. Have a great day.
She buried the lead. Yeah.
So as a parent, having a teacher crush as a parent while your kids were going to that school.
Oh.
That's a whole new category.
That is a whole new category.
My goodness.
All right, let's go to the storyteller.
Good morning. This is the storyteller. Well, my favorite and my crush happens to be the same teacher, Miss Schmidt, Mark Twain Middle School, 1972. She encouraged me to write down all my stories. And now all these years later, and 10 novels later, I still think about Miss Schmidt. Speaking of novels, you can get my latest father list on Audible or at a bookstore near you. Y'all have a great day. Hello, Kemper. I said hello.
Nice. He followed Kemper with that hello shout out.
Yes, he did.
10 novels later.
I know we need to talk to this guy a little bit more. Yeah.
If that's legit storyteller,
I've got his information. I will reach out to him.
We'll pimp your novels on the show.
We might even read 1 or 12.
Yeah, we might. I got my Kindle ready to download right now. All right, lots more coming up. Fasten your seatbelts. Charity McCurdy with everything you need to know at the bottom of the hour. Charlie Parker with Those Were the Days at 6:48. WOAI News Time 6:26.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
That was funny.
Very, very funny.
And thank you for
Kemper, a good one if you're still in here.
Okay, wait.
Ray Reyes, what up? SWAT Cats. Robert, read yours on the air.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Beautiful skin.
Yes.
Very attractive redhead with beautiful skin.
God. But it shapes our lives, you know?
Yes, indeed.
Miss Carr, man. Damn, she was hot. Oh, it's 73 in Lake Hills. Thank you, RK. The famous Texas Ranger. Yeah, you don't want to stay, don't mess with the Texas Ranger's wife, man.
Joaquin Jackson.
Or Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Uh-huh.
Woo! All right, we'll wait for you, Tim. We won't do anything until you get back.
All right, Tim, we're right here, man.
We're waiting. We're waiting.
So what are we doing here? It's
the Donald Trump, Kamala Harris debate.
You got some
No,
Trump audio?
I do not, but I could probably find some real quick. Hang on. Let me effort. There should be. Oh, I think I have it from yesterday.
You always play Bidenomics.
No. I'm going to go with no, Chris. Hang on.
6:40. And then somebody will be walking in right around 6:55.
Damn it. I hate when they do this.
6:30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, a terrorist plot thwarted in Austria targeting Taylor Swift concerts, and the city's former poet laureate is taking legal action after being fired. We'll have details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Heat advisory continues. It is another air quality alert day. Sunshine, a high of 103. Tonight's low near 75. Right now, 79 degrees. Well, Vice President Harris and her new running mate are campaigning in all big swing states, and Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports Republican VP candidate isn't far behind.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance spoke at an aviation ground support manufacturing company and was asked why he's in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the same day as Vice President Harris.
Well, we wanted to make sure there was a contrast, in part because the media has been so dishonest about Kamala Harris's record, and in part because they refuse to ask her questions.
He was also asked about the insistence by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on calling Vance weird. Vance said after Walz's first rally,
his wife comes up to him, and Tim Walz does what any normal Midwestern guy would do, seeing his beautiful wife on stage after a speech. He gives her a firm handshake. Right? That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
Vance said he thought open borders and letting rioters burn down Minneapolis after George Floyd's death were weird decisions. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
President Biden says he doesn't have faith a peaceful transfer of power will take place if former President Trump loses the election.
Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath.
Biden made the remarks in an interview with CBS News set to air in full on CBS Sunday morning. Trump made the remarks in March while talking about economic policies, saying in the following months that he would accept the results of the election if it was a fair, legal, and good election. Police in Austria have foiled an alleged terror attack plot on Taylor Swift concerts in Austria. Fox's Kevin Cork has details.
Tens of thousands of Taylor Swift fans are devastated after 3 planned shows in Vienna, Austria, set for this week, were all canceled over concerns of a planned terrorist attack at her concert stadium. In fact, law enforcement officials in Austria say they've recently arrested not one but 2 extremists involved in the plot, including a 19-year-old who allegedly had pledged an oath of allegiance to the militant terror group ISIS. Investigators are reportedly evaluating chemical substances found on the suspect, whom they believe was already taking the, quote, preparatory actions of a potential attack.
Well, the state of Texas carried out a death row execution last evening. Arthur Burton, the convicted killer of a Houston mother of 3, was put to death by lethal injection for strangling Nancy Alderman in the summer of 1997 while she was out for a jog near her home. His execution went forward after claims of intellectual disability were rejected. His execution was 3rd in Texas so far this year. Well, a new report shows that Texans are having trouble keeping up with the rising cost of housing.
We found that 90% of Texans, that's 9 out of 10, consider housing affordability to be a problem in their part of Texas.
Mark Jones did the survey for the University of Houston. He says many pointed to rising home valuations and property taxes. That's something the state legislature will again try to tackle in January. A segment of Republicans want to use a budget surplus to buy down school taxes that's opposed by backers of public schools. Well, the former poet laureate of San Antonio is suing the city for firing him and violating his civil rights.
Last year, Neftali De Leon was about 4 months into the position when in August he posted a poem on his Facebook page that some readers claimed had racist language. It wasn't long before those complaints reached city ears and De Leon was told he could either resign or be terminated. Now, De Leon is suing the city for breach of contract and defamation of character and wants $7,000 in damages. De Leon's suit was filed by the D.C.-based New Civil Liberties Alliance and claims his constitutional rights to free speech were violated. Eric Lankham, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
The two astronauts who traveled to the International Space Station on Boeing Starliner spacecraft could be in space until next year. Nick Harper has more on the latest update from NASA.
For now, the two astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, remain stuck in space following the problems during Starliner's inaugural crewed flight. It remains unclear if the craft is safe to bring them back to Earth.
NASA said if tests show a return flight on Starliner to be too risky, then the astronauts could be forced to wait and come back on Boeing rival SpaceX's Crew Dragon in February of 2025. Well, a Texas woman has died after being infected by the West Nile virus. Here's Fox's Chris DeMeo.
The Dallas County Health and Human Services Agency says that the woman contracted a severe neuroinvasive form of the virus. The woman, who's not identified, had underlying health issues before contracting the disease. It's the county's first West Nile death in 2024. The CDC says about 80% of people who get West Nile won't experience any symptoms, which include rash and swollen lymph nodes. The agency says West Nile is rarely fatal. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
It is 6:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, a check of your money and the world of business. Ed Corey is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news. She's Charity McCurdy. That's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. Charlie Parker. With those were the days at 6:48. He'll be in studio at 8:20. I'm Chris Duell. Well, will they or won't they? And when will they? And will it be on Fox? Will it be on ABC? When and where and how and if Donald Trump and Kamala Harris debate? We brought it to you yesterday as it happened. Donald Trump talked about this on Fox and Friends.
I don't know how she debates. I heard she's sort of a nasty person, but not a good debater.
Donald Trump went on to tell Fox and Friends that, quote, but we'll see because we'll be debating her, I guess, in the pretty near future, end quote. And as we've been discussing, Charity, Donald Trump does not want to do the ABC debate that he agreed to with Joe Biden on the 10th of September, but there's a date, I think, on the 4th.
September 4th,
of
correct.
September on Fox News that he said he would be willing to attend with a full audience there.
And Kamala Harris has yet to accept that Fox News debate offer from Trump. I do know that Harris plans to show up on September 10th for that ABC News debate, even if Trump ends up not participating. And apparently she'll just use the airtime for her own campaign. But I think a debate has to happen. The American people deserve it. And I think it's a matter of time before they work this out. I can't see us reaching November without a presidential debate between the two candidates.
Yeah, after we saw what happened with the Trump-Biden debate, the first one, and that's why I think Joe Biden dropped out of the race, with Kamala Harris coming in, yes, I think the American public does deserve to see them debate each other. And why not do it at the September 10th date that you agreed to already?
Well, and to simplify, I would like more than one debate.
Sure.
I'd like 3, but give me at least 2. Why don't we just have an arbitrator say, look, Trump, you've got September 4th. We'll do that one.
Yep.
Kamala, you've got September 10th. Let's do that one on ABC.
And let's come up with another one.
Yes. And then let's do a third part, maybe on C-SPAN or something.
Sure.
So some neutral, perceived neutral network can then do it. Yeah, PBS maybe, although Trump might not like PBS.
No.
Yeah, I just wonder who is going to be blamed for being scared to debate if one doesn't end up happening during the month of September. You know, I mean, is Kamala going to be accused of being too scared to debate Trump if she doesn't agree to that September 4th Fox News debate? And will the same be applied to Trump for, pretty much terminating that September 10th debate?
I think both. I think on September 4th, Trump would accuse her.
Yep.
And then she'd go, I'm doing the 10th. And on the 10th, she would accuse him.
Can't we all just decide on one and just start with one to begin with?
Do it.
Yeah.
It's high stakes, and they know that. And they know that.
I know.
Well, and I think, I mean, it's looking more and more like this is going to be a very, very close race. I think they both realize it behooves them and it could benefit them with a strong showing. And I think Donald Trump knows he usually does very, very, very well in debates. He certainly did against Biden.
Yes, he did.
But I mean, if you go back to previous debates, he does very, very well. It's right in his wheelhouse. It's something he's very, very good at. So I think he likes the TV. I think he likes being on the screen, and I think he's confident that he would win a debate with Kamala Harris.
So yes or no, you think we'll see one?
I think we'll see 2.
2, okay.
And then I want to see the vice presidential debate.
That's what I was just going to say. What about a double header? We do a presidential debate earlier in the evening and then follow it with a vice president. Come on. Let's get it on. Baseball
same evening.
Yeah.
That would be exhausting.
Extravaganza.
It'd be like a double header in baseball, man. It's fantastic.
Kind of like it. And in a baseball stadium.
There you go.
Yeah. Globe Life Field in Arlington.
And have a contest to see who gets to throw out the first question.
There you go. And let's also throw out the first pitch. Let's see who can throw a baseball accurately to the catcher.
I like it.
Yeah, let's do some other skills. Let's do some other athletic skills.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
On this National Pickleball Day, by the way.
I like that. Doubles pickleball.
Ooh, JD
Kamala and
Vance.
Tim against JD and Donnie.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody.
I like it.
And the winner could take us on because we're undefeated in pickleball.
We are.
Charity, have we mentioned to you that we're undefeated in pickleball?
Not in the last 10 minutes, Chris.
Okay. Well, it is National Pickleball Day. It's dedicated to our record.
Yes, someday. All right, Charlie Parker coming right up with those were the days. WOAI News Time, 6:45.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
Have you told the people on the stream yet that we're undefeated?
Have we mentioned on the stream that we're undefeated in pickleball?
Yep.
We're working up a Charity and Randy Beamer challenge.
Yes. I think it's deserved.
Yeah.
Oh, Jacob C. Hernandez had a crush on my daughter's teacher at Sunrise Elementary in Colorado Springs, Miss
Nice.
Halstead.
She looks like Olivia Munn.
Wow. Yo.
In case something that John Lennon, that it was going to be like 50th anniversary or something.
He was murdered on December 8th. His birthday is October 10th.
50th anniversary of what though? Yeah.
Oh, maybe an album.
Dude, if you want to do a John Lennon playlist, I know who will be happy.
I would be very happy.
Well,
We can do best songs from Ohio, about Ohio for JD Dance.
Let's see. I as much as I love John Lennon, I'll bet you there's some listeners who don't. Yeah.
Trying to think what else is coming up.
August Olympic
School songs.
Yeah. School's out for summer.
School's out.
for teachers.
My Old School from Steely Dan.
Old Days by Chicago.
Yeah, Old Days is a good one. Yeah. There's got to be a list somewhere. Yeah, and Charity will like that because her daughter's going back to school on Monday, and yeah, that'll be good. That's smart, man. Way to go, dude. Tim, I wore sweats when we played pickleball because it was in December.
I don't even remember what I wore, but
you wore sweats.
I remember my knees hurting for several days.
There's a video somewhere. I forget where it went.
I got video somewhere.
Yeah, there's a video of us kicking their butts.
And of Charity taking a spill.
Charity taking a roll on the court and getting right back up, though. She was very fast back up on her feet.
She was good.
Man.
She was very competitive. I kind of expected to lose because she had young Jeremy Kolak.
But she had the hidden
22 years old.
She had your secret weapon, man. Me.
That's true.
Because I played tennis when I was in junior high and a little bit in high school. And let's just say this. Pickleball is easier than tennis.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to let them know all that ahead of time. But yeah. Like I said, I just figured out Jeremy couldn't react when you hit it at his feet.
Yeah.
I just kept hitting the ball at his feet. Elmendorf Air Force, Anchorage, Alaska. My sister was born there. My middle sister, my favorite sister, was born in.
Hey, it's grumpy old fart.
I know. No, he's in the parking lot.
No, this grumpy old fart. Yeah. Welcome in, grumpy old fart.
Ooh, Miss Alaska. Wow.
What the?
Oh, man.
Miss Alaska was your teacher?
No, she was a teacher assistant.
Ah.
Wow. He hit puberty really early.
Miss Alaska will do that to you.
We were wearing all green on the pickleball court.
Is that right? See, I don't even remember.
No, we didn't wear all green. I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm sorry, Hector, man. His first 8 years of school had nuns.
Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
dude.
First grade, I went to St. Luke's. Had Sister Gonzaga was her name.
Oh, my God.
I called her Sister Godzilla. So she pulled my ears.
You think?
Yeah, she did not like being called Sister Godzilla.
Why not? That's a term of endearment.
It was. And then,
my God, I love Godzilla.
My freshman year, I went to Antonian, which at the time was an all boys school.
I had a good friend that went there.
And I got out of there as quickly as I could. I wanted to go to school with girls. Because The Rock.
See?
Steve Rocco.
Travis was in a Catholic school. He had no crushes, so yeah.
If you went to school with Catholic schoolgirls wearing the little Catholic schoolgirl
that's different.
uniform.
That's different.
Yeah, that would have been, but there were no girls at Antonian.
No.
Now, across the prairie, Ursuline Academy had girls.
Oh, yeah, Ursuline Academy. Yeah. Nice place, by the way.
Yeah, there was a nickname for them.
Uh-huh.
I won't say on the stream because I'm a gentleman.
Yes.
But the something's on the hill.
Yep.
Because they were on a hill above us.
Still are. It's still up there.
But now that's owned by Cornerstone.
I know, yeah. It ruined it. I almost got married to my high school sweetheart, and that's where we were looking at for the reception.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ursuline Academy?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because that room they have up there overlooks the city and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was not into it, but yeah.
So how close did you? I mean, if you were looking for venues,
we were real
you came close.
Real close.
Wow.
Yeah, I got smart. I was too young. I was 22.
Do you still keep in touch? I mean,
oh hell no.
So I mean,
Psycho.
Oh, okay.
She was Psycho.
So
man.
you almost married a Psycho.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until we started living together. How psycho she was, but yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm a big fan of living together.
Me too.
Test drive the vehicle.
And that's why I took it back. I wanted that lemon law.
Funny.
Well, and one of the worst things was She talked me into trading in my Mustang that I had bought when I was a senior in high school.
She is a psycho.
For a Ford Tempo.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Like an idiot, I did it. And then when I broke up with her, I sold that, got rid of that car real quick. Good morning, Eric.
Eric, welcome in.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm getting the hell out.
Eric Sikapalan, welcome. Hector Gomez. Hello, Hector.
Same thing with Cindy, man. I lived with her for a while before we got married. So yeah, I did it right. But luckily I wasn't stupid enough to actually follow through with it.
Beth and I lived together, I think, for 6 years. I think
Ours
we
was
moved,
4.5.
we met in December
yeah.
of 93. I think we moved in 94.
Yep.
And then we got married New Year's 2000.
And I lost furniture, clothes. I just left.
Hopefully not vinyl record albums.
No, actually, I got my albums. That was one thing I was smart enough to grab.
Back.
I was one thing I was smart enough to grab, but I left all the furniture we had bought together, all clothes that were in the closet. I just left them. I was like, screw it, I'm out.
So you hope to play what here?
I've got the pickleball, National Pickleball Day.
Pickleball, okay.
Yeah, the Kokomo.
So that would be after the talkbacks?
Yeah, because I've only got a couple. Yeah. Before we get done here, and it's only 45 seconds on the pickleball thing. Yep, we're good. So we've got RK, Dave the Dispatcher, and Glenn from Wimberley.
Nice. The Edge. I've always thought that's so pretentious.
It is.
My name's The Edge.
Yeah.
Your name is Phil.
Yeah. Here comes Charity, everybody.
Well, Taylor Swift concerts have been canceled in Austria due to an ISIS-inspired terror plot. 2 astronauts who flew to the ISS on the Starliner spacecraft could be stuck up there until February. And Texas carried out its 3rd execution of the year last evening. We'll have details coming up right now. Traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Hot today, hot tomorrow, hot on Saturday. 103 today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. It is 78 degrees in Castroville, 73 in Lake Hills, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 6:54.
Mr. T, you just did the weather forecast. You said hot today, hot tomorrow. I thought you were going to say, and hot for teacher on our talkbacks.
We should have talked about that.
I'm just,
just saying.
It's hot.
I am hot for
and
teacher.
We're Charity, we are getting some hot for teacher talkbacks. I'm just saying.
I hope they're not as disturbing as the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I will never forget the name Johnny the Geek. Johnny the Geek. I won't
I'm
elaborate.
sure there's an investigation going on right now.
Other than to say he was homeschooled and his
that's
talkback
enough.
was very disturbing. Very disturbing. All right.
Therapy.
We're
Let's go with that.
in honor of back to school, we are asking you if you would like to talk to us about your favorite teacher. And of course, maybe more interesting is, did you have a teacher crush?
Yes.
Charity, how would they get us that information?
The free iHeartRadio app. You search 1200 WOAI, hit that red circle. That's the talkback button, 30 seconds to sound off.
And RK is always entertaining.
No, RK here. That would mean if I had to think back that far, that I would have to have a memory. And y'all don't try to think about that too much. Everybody have a beautiful memorized day. Bye, y'all.
See, I'm a little disappointed.
You
I was,
did, yeah.
I was hoping for a tale from RK about a school time crush on a teacher.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But Dave, the dispatcher, does not disappoint.
Hi, this is Dave the dispatcher. I wanted to tell you about a teacher I had in 7th grade at Dwight Middle School. She was a lovely young blonde woman named Miss Merrill. Wasn't so much about being hot for her, but I sure appreciated her mind.
Oh, yeah.
She let us spend over a semester analyzing music. Her favorite artist was Jackson Browne, so we did quite a few of those songs, and some Led Zeppelin. It was great.
See, now that's a teacher.
If her favorite artist is Jackson Browne, I like Miss Merrill
Me
already.
too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Me too. I like it.
Good taste.
All right, here we go.
Glenn. Hello, this is Glenn from Wimberley, Texas. Just wanted to say I'm glad all y'all had the pleasure of having beautiful teachers, because I sure didn't have none. All of mine were 82-year-old blue-haired women. Thank y'all. Have a good morning.
Oh, Glenn. Feel so bad for
Turn your
Glenn.
blinker off, Glenn.
And I wonder if he went to school in Wimberley. Is that a Wimberley thing?
I hope
I
not.
don't know.
I
He
hope
later
not,
wound up
yeah.
in Wimberley.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably smarter for it, I'm
True.
guessing.
Yeah, he wasn't distracted like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah. hard to focus on reading and writing and arithmetic when Miss Petrie is jumping on the trampoline. I'm just saying. True story.
That's
Sandy
right.
Petrie.
Did you have a favorite teacher?
Sandy Petrie.
Well, yeah.
On the trampoline.
For other reasons,
She
but
was,
yes.
she was my favorite. How about you?
I had Mr. Ruderman, 7th grade biology. He was great. Fantastic.
Did you dissect a frog?
Yes. And a starfish.
That was so
Oh, it was
gross.
awesome.
Did you
It was
dissect a
awesome.
frog in biology, Charity?
Yes, I did. Yes. And owl pellets, I believe.
Oh, you did the owl pellets? See,
Yes.
we didn't get to do the owl pellets. We did
Uh-huh.
starfish instead.
Mm.
Yeah. It was cool. I liked it.
Charity, a favorite teacher come to mind back at Randolph, the Rohawks, the high school?
Yeah, Coach Jerry Gonzalez, PE coach and health coach. He was absolutely hilarious and was just the friendliest guy you would ever meet. He was not intimidating. He had a great relationship with the students. Love him.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, if you were listening earlier, I don't know if we've mentioned it lately, but Mr. T and I are undefeated in pickleball.
So much so they made a day for it.
Yeah,
Chris.
well, and I do want to point out, and this is why you've got to listen to the whole show. We're trying to put together a match between undefeated Mr. T and me versus Charity and Randy Beamer. We'll probably be able to lock that in tomorrow because it'll be Fridays with Beamer.
There you go.
tomorrow.
We'll get all the details, work it out, get sponsors, everybody in.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. And if it's a chicken and pickle, we'll all take out a bank loan so that we can afford the admission at Chicken and Pickle. I might have to sell my car. But Mr. T, we would like to pay homage to National Pickleball Day.
Yes, we would.
There's a brand new game. Everybody seems to want to play. Even though at first it may sound lame from its funny name. Let's play pickleball. Badminton and tennis, come on, make it with it. It's like ping pong, but bigger. Everyone's a winner. Bring your sweat socks and yacht rock. Baby, won't you join me for some pickleball? We'll buy some gear and maybe we'll turn pro. Everybody here wants to know how to play pickleball.
My favorite lyric, bring your sweat socks and yacht rock. And Mr. T, you, again, this is why you got to listen to the whole show. Earlier in the show, you told us something we did not know about pickleball.
Yes, it's actually named for the inventor's dog, Pickles, who used to come and take the ball and run away with it. So he called it pickleball.
Pickles, bring that ball back.
That's how it
pickleball.
got its funny name.
It's so much fun. It really is.
It is.
It is. It's amazing.
Especially when you win, right, Chris?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. As we know. Did I mention Charity? No, never mind.
Yeah,
You did, yes,
She knows.
several times.
Coming up, if she and Randy Beamer beat us in
it's gonna be
pickleball,
awful.
there's going to be hell to pay.
Yes,
Bragging
it will be.
rights.
I'm
Yes,
To
it
the
will.
10th degree.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay, there's probably going to be a river parade for Randy.
Yeah,
and for
Randy's
Charity.
got connections.
And
Yes.
Randy Beamer could make that happen.
Yes, he
actually.
could.
Coming up at 7:10. Wait till you hear this. We'll hear J.D. Vance in Wisconsin talking about Kamala Harris and the Harris-Biden border policy. But right now, Charity McCurdy with everything you need to know. WOAI News Time is 7 o'clock.
Seven o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, terrorists target Taylor Swift concerts, and Texas carries out its third execution of the year. Details coming up. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Heat advisory continues. It is another air quality alert day. Sunshine, a high of 103. Tonight's low near 75. Right now, 79 degrees. Well, Taylor Swift's concerts in Austria have been canceled after police arrested two men for allegedly plotting terror attacks on the shows. Fox's Christina Coleman has more.
Authorities announced they arrested two people who they identified as suspected extremists. Austria's Interior Ministry said one of them is a 19-year-old Austrian citizen who they believe became radicalized on the internet and pledged an oath of allegiance to the Islamic State group. Authorities also confirmed they obtained chemical substances that they say they are now evaluating. Tens of thousands of fans were expected to attend the Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna. The event's organizer, Barracuda Music, said, quote, with confirmation from government officials of a planned terrorist attack at Ernst Happel Stadium, we have no choice but to cancel the three scheduled shows for everyone's safety.
The singer's website says all tickets will be automatically refunded within the next 10 business days. At a manufacturing plant in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Ohio Senator and Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance told workers and members of the press that Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, has been a failure on public safety due to his handling of Black Lives Matter riots in 2020.
I'm scandalized by this guy pretending that he stands for working people. Working people need to live in communities with public safety. Working people need to be able to build a business and know that some hoodlum is going to come along and burn it to the ground because of a political issue. Working people need the police to be supported in their communities.
Vance also accused Walz of stolen valor, claiming Walz abandoned his unit in the National Guard just before it was deployed to Iraq. And speaking at a rally in Detroit, Walz spoke about the difference between the two campaigns.
All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is they try to steal the joy from this country. They try and steal the joy. But you know what? You know what? Our next president brings the joy. She emanates the joy.
Real Clear Politics polls show Vice President Harris leading the race in Michigan by 2 points over former President Trump. Tropical storm Debbie made landfall in South Carolina just after midnight. It is the second landfall this week for the storm that first roared ashore Monday morning in Florida as a Category 1 hurricane. It's now forecast to slowly make its way north into North Carolina, Virginia, and beyond. The storm has already been blamed for at least 6 deaths. The city of San Antonio's financial performance is a hit with major credit rating agencies.
San Antonio has the highest bond ratings of any major U.S. city, according to city officials. Standard & Poor's as well as Moody's rated San Antonio stable in recently released ratings, while Fitch rates the city as positive. Those ratings are unchanged from last year. This is good news for the city that's about to offer a bond package sale in a couple of weeks. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Federal pandemic relief funding for Texas schools is about to end just in time for the new school year. Texas schools have received more than $19 billion in elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds over the past 4 years. That funding expires September 30th. Texas lawmakers last year didn't approve an increase to the amount of state funding every school receives per student, an amount that's been the same since 2019. A number of school districts are facing budget deficits as a result of years of inflation. Well, officials at NASA have yet to determine the safest way to return pilots Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams on the Boeing Starliner back to Earth. Here's Fox's Jonathan Seary.
NASA Associate Administrator Ken Bowersock says recent thruster tests convinced some of their engineers the new spacecraft is safe to carry astronauts on the return flight from the International Space Station, while others would prefer they fly back on a different spacecraft.
Reasonable people could pick either path depending on where their view is on our position in the uncertainty bound that we have for the data that we've got on the thruster system.
One option under consideration would be to launch next month's SpaceX Crew 9 mission to the ISS with only 2 astronauts instead of 4, and give Butch and Sonny the empty seats on the return flight in Atlanta. Jonathan Seary, Fox News.
And if this plan was implemented, Wilmore and Williams would remain in space through February of next year. It is 7:06. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news, a big 7 o'clock hour is upon us. 7:20, Mike Opelka. He's back from the Pure Opelka podcast, his take on the morning's big stories. 7:40, national correspondent Rory O'Neill on why Tropical Storm Debbie is sticking around and continuing to wreak havoc on Florida, Georgia, and now South Carolina. Also, this hour, more from you, your talkbacks on your favorite teacher and your favorite teacher crush, if you had one, as we get you ready for back to school. And coming right up on a segment we call Wait Till You Hear This, Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance in Eau Claire, Wisconsin yesterday, talking about the Harris-Biden border policy. But first, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Sunny skies today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. Hot all 3 days. 103 today, 101 tomorrow, and Saturday. 79 degrees at Leon Valley, 79 in Alamo Heights, and 78 here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 710.
San Antonio's first news, that's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. She's Charity McCurdy. Charlie Parker is in the building. He'll join us at 8:20. I'm Chris Duell. Andrew Zimmel, day after his birthday. Now a member of the sort of 27 Club. Not the bad one, the good one. He's 27 years old now.
Thank you for clarifying that.
He's not joining Amy Winehouse yet. He's running the show, also running the YouTube broadcast. Go to YouTube, look for 1200 WOAI, and you can find us every weekday morning at this time. We do a segment called Wait Till You Hear This, where we span the globe to bring you the constant variety of audio. And the point on the globe for today's audio is Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance, candidate J.D. Vance, was there yesterday at a campaign event talking about the Harris-Biden border policy.
The other thing that Kamala Harris ought to answer for is this terrible crisis at the American southern border. She has been the border czar for 3.5 years, and Americans have suffered because of it. I know this community's been affected by it. I know I've seen the consequences of it personally, but the fentanyl that the Mexican drug cartels are bringing into our country, it is killing Americans by the bushels, and it is unnecessary. It is happening because of failed public policy. I talked to somebody just yesterday, actually, two kids, a 19-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl. And their mom and dad had died of a fentanyl overdose just 5 years prior when they were 10 and 14 years old. These two kids were orphaned. And they're incredible kids. And I told them I was rooting for them. And I can't believe that our leadership has let what has happened to these children happen. It's not necessary. There's no American that wants the Mexican drug cartels to take advantage of our country and make billions of dollars selling drugs into our communities. And these kids suffered because of it. You have a little girl who's bounced around 4 foster homes in just the past 4 years because of the poison that took her parents from her. And you ask yourselves, why are we doing this? Why are we letting this stuff come into our country? I know very personally the pain of addiction. Some of you saw my RNC remarks, but my mom struggled with addiction for pretty much my entire life. And she's been clean and sober for nearly 10 years now. And that's an incredible blessing for my family, an incredible blessing for my kids to be able to get to know their grandmother. But I really believe that if the poison that Kamala Harris is letting come across the border in 2024 was coming across the border 15 years ago or 12 years ago, I would have never got that second chance with my mom. And we would have never had the opportunity to see her build a wonderful relationship with her 3 grandchildren. And if this campaign of Donald Trump's and mine is about anything, it's about preserving the American dream. And the American dream is sometimes a thing of second chances.
Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance yesterday in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, in Charity, talking about the border. And you've been telling us for months what a big issue that is among all voters in America for this 2024 election. And even though Kamala Harris and Joe Biden say, well, she wasn't officially the border czar, still a lot of people hold that administration and her responsible for not doing a better job at the border.
And I think that's what Trump and Vance need to do is stick to the policy issues, specifically border security, because that is a vulnerable issue for Kamala Harris and the Democrats right now. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who isn't concerned about rising crime in their community. And many believe that is tied to the border crisis.
And addiction is just one of those things that, it affects a lot of people. And yes, the border security is a big thing. And then I think that is the top thing on just about every voter's mind.
Yeah, so that would be a huge advantage for Trump and Vance. Coming up, Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast, his take on this morning's big stories. That's coming right up. WOAI News Time, 7:15.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
All right, 50, we're doing talkback. I got 7.
Okay. Wow.
I know. They're coming in like 2 and 3 at a time. So
cool.
7 that I can air, let's put it that way.
We like it.
Ooh, that's a good point there, Jacob. Kiowa Armory. Pickleball song is legit. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, grumpy old fart. Good morning, Justin.
Justin, Jacob, Kiowa Armory, Tommy, Travis, Tim, Grumpy Old Fart. Hey, Grumpy Old Fart's in here.
No, he's at his desk.
No, this.
I'm sorry.
This Grumpy Old Fart.
It just never gets
Eric,
old, does it?
thank you. Have we mentioned we're undefeated in pickleball?
You know, not lately.
Not lately.
We are undefeated.
Not since 7.
So there's been a few.
Eddie Lozano, welcome in.
Hey, good morning, Eddie. Good morning, Eddie.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Play those boss tunes my boss told me to play. Boo-da, boo-da, boo.
$32 watching now. Welcome.
Well, hi.
32 of you.
Name them all.
I can't name them all because I don't know all their names. But thank you. Thanks for hanging with us.
Juan Vargas Flores.
Yeah, he's in
You're
trouble.
wanted. Terroristic threat. No, that's
Looks like a nice enough guy.
You know?
No face tats.
Just neck tats.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Working
neck
his
tats.
way up,
Yeah.
Chris. M1 Abraham. M1A1 should say Abraham.
M1A1.
You can hear Charlie from Mr. T's headphones. Yes, I am deaf. I just have to say that. I am. Does that work better if I get closer? Do, 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 do. There's a good talk back for tomorrow if you want to do the horse.
That is good.
Stand by, Chris.
Okay. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together, then Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast, his takes on the morning's big stories. But first, Charity, what stories are you working on?
Taylor Swift is canceling her concerts in Austria this weekend because of an alleged terror plot. The 2 astronauts who traveled to the International Space Station on Boeing's Starliner spacecraft could be stuck in space until next year. And San Antonio's former poet laureate is suing the city for firing him. We'll have the stories coming up right now, traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunny skies today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. 103 today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. It is 79 degrees in Cibolo, 78 in Lavernia, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 720.
San Antonio's first news. Every weekday morning at this time, we check in with Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. He's brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Mike, a big story out there. Tim Walz, the Democratic VP choice, presumptively, of course, being accused of stolen valor. I'm having a John Kerry 2004 Swift boat flashback. What's your take on all this?
Well, he did serve. He did spend many, many years in the National Guard. And then when it came time for him to be deployed, he decided to change his mind and he retired. And then there's also the question of what level of rank he achieved. And he claimed one level, and it seems like he didn't complete all of the tests, the time test that it took to get to that level. So he was busted back. He's dancing on a fine line. And if there's one area you don't do that in your background, it's with military service, because you get called out on it pretty darn quickly.
And Mike, it's been 18 days since Kamala Harris launched her campaign and still no press conference. What's going on here? You think she's maybe holding out for a debate with Trump?
No, I think she's trying to play the game and say, I don't have to do this. I can just read from a script, which she's very good at doing that. But, Kamala gave us a little advice on situations like this a long time ago when she said this.
When all else fails, just be lovely.
Just be lovely. So she's just being lovely, Charity.
Oh, okay.
So Taylor Swift's Vienna concert's canceled over a terrorist threat. Do we have to worry about that with the PelkaCon that will soon be happening?
PelkaCon looks like it's October 24th. It's going to start in San Antonio, so stay tuned for that. I don't think there's anybody who wants to hit me with anything other than a water balloon. So I'm not worried about that. But this is a serious deal.
Yes, it is.
And especially when we think back to the Ariana Grande event that happened not that long ago. Terrorists know that they can get into these events and wreak havoc. So you have to salute the authorities in Vienna and the international intel groups who called this out. And she's returning home for just in time for the election season. So keep your eyes on Taylor Swift, maybe doing something very political, even though she says she's not going to.
So, Mike, within seemingly minutes of the announcement that Tim Walz would be Kamala Harris's choice as a running mate, I started seeing the memes out there of Maya Rudolph and Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live portraying the respective candidates. What do we know? Steve Martin apparently has reacted to this. Is he going to do it?
Yeah, it sounds like Steve Martin's a no, even though he and what's his name over at SNL are very good friends.
Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, Lorne Michaels. Thank you. Brain fart. But he's currently on tour with Martin Short, and they're raking in the money. So why would you want to do the SNL thing when you could do this and just keep having fun? I expect he may do one or two, but right now he's saying no. Maya Rudolph, she's going to cash that check.
Yeah.
So, Mike, how can Boeing at this point save face following these latest developments that those two astronauts may be stuck at the ISS until next year?
I don't know, Charity. This one's really bad. The worst part of it is, imagine you packed for a weekend and you got to spend a year in the same place. At least if you pack for a weekend, you probably go to the outlet mall and pick up some underwear and socks and make it through. In space, we got to send a rocket up. And there was a SpaceX launch a couple days ago with resupplying the space station. I wonder how much of it was clothing for these two. This is another bad PR thing for Boeing. I don't know how they survived this one.
Yeah, but it looks good for SpaceX if they can come to the rescue.
SpaceX is crushing it.
I know.
74 flights this year. They're more reliable than my UPS driver, and he's pretty darn good.
So, Mike, you started something last time you made an appearance here 48 hours ago. The city is clamoring. Everybody wants to know from the people who brought you Comic-Con. We're hoping for an OPELCA-Con event here in San Antonio. Do you have any breaking news you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I kind of leaked it a little bit ago when I said October 24th looks like the day for my class reunion. And I have reached out to all the people I shared the first floor on Wynn Dormitory with. And it looks like we've got a Frisbee golf tournament starting. So there will likely be an OPELCA-Con starting October 24th.
Can we get on a panel?
Oh, my God, we need a panel.
Yes.
It's probably going to have to be at a bar.
Hey, that's the only place we do panels. I'm just saying.
I'm thinking La Fonda on Main, margaritas, the back patio.
I'm in.
San Antonio scene. I'm all for it.
Charity, I think I found my social director for Otelka. We need to talk.
We will.
So we're marking our calendars for October 24th.
Yeah, it's probably going to last all weekend, and we'll be taking collections for bail money.
Hey, we know some attorneys. We're good.
And I got a feeling the election will be a hot topic on October 24th. Just
Well,
a few days
we're gonna
away.
have politics and a few pints at the bar.
I can see the
Politics and
T-shirts
pints.
already.
Politics and pints.
There you go.
Got a ring to it.
I like it.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to it. You can get more Mike Opelka from his Pure Opelka podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcast. We recommend the free iHeartRadio app. Another episode will drop this morning. You don't want to miss it. Mike is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Coming up at 7:40, Rory O'Neill with the latest on Tropical Storm Debbie. It just won't go away. It's still doing damage. And before the end of the hour, right around 7:50, we're going to hear more from you. Back to school, your teacher crushes, and more. WOAI News Time 726. Well, now,
And we're back.
he's going to be in here.
No, we're doing talkback there.
All right, man.
8:20, Charlie. 8:20. Okay.
BH in Bayou City. MVNB.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the third time that's shown up there, and it's disappeared twice.
I don't know what it means. MVNB.
Yeah, thank you for your service, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie, absolutely. Thank you for your service, sir.
And I agree.
Yeah, Eddie, the same guy, campaign strategist, who did the Swift boat stolen valor thing to John Kerry in 2004. I heard this morning. I'll have to look up his name. It didn't stick with me, but it's the same guy now working for the Trump campaign, working to discredit Tim Walz's military service with the stolen valor charges. He served for 24 years.
It's a serious charge, man. It's a serious charge.
He left the National Guard to run for Congress. That's
a
when
serious charge, man.
Yeah. And again, if it backfires, and it did not backfire on John Kerry when they did it to John Kerry, but if enough people in the military see it as an egregious, insulting, unfounded charge, that could backfire on the Trump campaign.
That's where we want to go.
SA boy killed in Mexico. I don't know that story.
I don't know it either. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, you do. We got security lined up with Officer John.
Excellent.
That's awesome. I'm serious. I'll take
Politics and pints.
I love it, man.
It's a great.
It's a great.
And if we had a sales staff,
They would be all over it.
Yes.
And inviting people out.
and finding the right venue for
LaFonda would be
politics and
perfect.
pints. Yeah.
LaFonda on Main would
All
be
this
perfect.
advertising.
Yes.
And advertise during these segments.
Yes.
Yeah, right after the Randy Adams, you could have
Yes.
another spot there.
It would be awesome. Sophomore year, Mrs. Williams.
Miss Williams to
I'm
you.
sorry. Only guy in typing class because she was a teacher.
Jay,
Way to go, Jay, man.
Jay,
That's what I'm
was that
talking
local?
about.
Was that a local high school or no? Wow, Jay, I was a sophomore in 75. We're about the same age. And that's when I had my event with trampoline.
75 was a good year, apparently.
Very good year. Yes, thank
It was a very good year.
Oh, my goodness.
Abilene High. Okay.
Abilene High.
October 21st, it looks like, Eric. We're going to solidify all the details, and we've got security lined up. Officer John, our good friend, the police officer, is offering his services, so it'll be great. Amen. Amen, Jacob. Amen. Yeah, that'd be a good place for Eric to come out and do some photos, man.
It
We could make it a real big
we
deal.
might be able to tie the two together, Eric. It's something we should
That'd be a
discuss.
good deal. Hello, Sleepy.
Sleepy, what is up?
What up?
See, Eric's thinking the same thing as we're thinking.
Yep.
Eric, there you go.
Great minds. You are correct.
I'm sure Opelka would love to see your work.
Oh, God, yes. You know what they say? The mind is a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Connie.
Welcome back, Connie.
Officer John, everybody. He says, thumbs up. Very cool. Got security taken care of. Yes, Eric is beautiful, man. I loved it. All right, here comes Charity McCurdy. I'm going to step out for a sec. You going to stay?
$7:31 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, a terrorist plot thwarted in Austria targeting Taylor Swift concerts, and the city's former poet laureate is taking legal action after being fired. Details coming up. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Heat advisory continues. It is another air quality alert day. Sunshine, a high of 103. Tonight's low near 75. Right now, we're at 79 degrees. Well, Vice President Harris and her new running mate are campaigning in all the big swing states. And Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports the Republican vice presidential candidate is not far behind.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance spoke at an aviation ground support manufacturing company and was asked why he's in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the same day as Vice President Harris.
Well, we wanted to make sure there was a contrast, in part because the media has been so dishonest about Kamala Harris's record, and in part because they refuse to ask her questions.
He was also asked about the insistence by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on calling Vance weird. Vance said after Walz's first rally,
his wife comes up to him, and Tim Walz does what any normal Midwestern guy would do, seeing his beautiful wife on stage after a speech. He gives her a firm handshake. Right? That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
Vance said he thought open borders and letting rioters burn down Minneapolis after George Floyd's death were weird decisions. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Speaking at a rally in Detroit, Michigan, Tim Walz warned voters about a second Trump presidency.
We know Donald Trump's taking us backwards, and don't believe the act. He's playing dumb. He knows exactly what Project 2025 is going to do to our personal liberties. Destroy unions, rig the economy for the ultra wealthy.
And Trump has tried to distance himself from Project 2025, a lengthy plan by the Heritage Foundation to overhaul the government. He says some of the ideas in it are abysmal and absolutely ridiculous. Well, police in Austria foiled an alleged terror attack plot on Taylor Swift concerts. Fox's Kevin Cork has more.
Tens of thousands of Taylor Swift fans are devastated after 3 planned shows in Vienna, Austria, set for this week, were all canceled over concerns of a planned terrorist attack at her concert stadium. In fact, law enforcement officials in Austria say they've recently arrested not one but 2 extremists involved in the plot, including a 19-year-old who allegedly had pledged an oath of allegiance to the militant terror group ISIS. Investigators are reportedly evaluating chemical substances found on the suspect, whom they believe was already taking the, quote, preparatory actions of a potential attack.
Well, San Antonio's former poet laureate is suing the city for firing him. Neftali De Leon held the position for 4 months last year. In August of last year, De Leon posted a poem on his Facebook page that contained words that some readers described as racist. Soon afterwards, De Leon says city officials told him he could resign or be terminated. De Leon is suing San Antonio for breach of contract and defamation. His attorney claims the firing violated De Leon's First Amendment rights. Well, the two astronauts who traveled to the International Space Station on Boeing Starliner spacecraft could be in space until next year. Nick Harper has the latest update from NASA.
For now, the two astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, remain stuck in space following the problems during Starliner's inaugural crewed flight. It remains unclear if the craft is safe to bring them back to Earth.
NASA said if tests show a return flight on Starliner to be too risky, then the astronauts could be forced to wait and come back on Boeing rival SpaceX's Crew Dragon in February of 2025. A Bexar County Sheriff's Office cadet applicant is in custody accused of possessing child porn. The Sheriff's Office says 22-year-old Matthew Juarez was undergoing the application process when a recruiting corporal found explicit images of young girls in Juarez's phone. A search of the applicant's phone is part of the process of becoming a cadet. The corporal reported the discovery to her supervisors, and investigators soon questioned Juarez and arrested him for possession of child porn. Well, a hazmat situation that unfolded during the grand opening of a new family resort south of Houston sent 16 people to the hospital.
The Great Wolf Lodge in Webster was having its grand opening 3 weeks ahead of schedule when a third-party firm improperly mixed pool chemicals and created a hazmat call to first responders.
The chemical reaction occurred. There was a cloud which affected the people that were outside in the area, which they injected some of this, which they had some breathing problems, so they were transported to the hospitals.
Webster Fire Chief Spencer Dean says 16 third-party contractors working around the pool were affected and hospitalized. Another company is working to safely clean the chemical tanks. No guests or staff were affected, nor was the operation of the new lodge. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
It is 7:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, a check of your money and the world of business. Ed Corey is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news. She's Charity McCurdy. That is Mr. T. Tim Merriman. Charlie Parker in the building. He'll join us at 8:20. I'm Chris Duell. And let's get the latest on Tropical Storm Debbie, which made its second landfall earlier this morning. It made that landfall about 2 a.m. Eastern time near Bulls Bay, South Carolina. National correspondent Rory O'Neill has been tracking Tropical Storm Debbie. Rory, what's the latest?
Yeah, it's finally going to start moving. Don't forget, Debbie came ashore in Florida on Monday, and here we are on Thursday, still talking about this storm that really hasn't gone all that far. It's still only moving around 5 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are at 50 miles per hour. But now that it's on shore, we're going to see it weaken, and it should be downgraded to a tropical depression later today. And then it's going to get picked up by a frontal boundary that's moving in and finally start to pull away from the Carolinas. This thing's going to be in Pittsburgh by tomorrow, and then upstate New York after that. And actually should be gone in time for the Northeast to have a pretty good weekend.
And Rory, we're hearing that in some areas, it's just taken a while for all the water to clear out from Debbie long after the storm has moved on. And that's only further complicating recovery efforts.
Right. You know, the storm dumped about 11 inches of rain in places like Sarasota, Florida, on Florida's Gulf Coast, south of Tampa Bay. It came ashore in Florida's Big Bend, where the peninsula meets the Panhandle. And again, in areas like that, about 15 inches of rain hit in some spots. Thankfully, it's not densely populated. But even as the rain falls in Georgia and the Carolinas, a lot of that water then moves to the south and is still creating flooding problems across North Florida and probably will for several more days as this clears out. And of course, the other big concern, it's only August 8th. This storm season has a long way to go. The peak of the hurricane season isn't until the middle of September. So when the ground is already saturated like this in an area from Florida up through the Carolinas, if there's another storm that comes along soon, there's nowhere for that water to go.
You mentioned Sarasota County. How about Manatee County? And there's a Florida State Senator, John Gruters, who wants an investigation as to why those floodwaters are so deep and lasting so long.
Yeah, it is interesting about some of the rainfall totals. Manatee, Sarasota counties right next to each other on that same area. Again, south of Tampa Bay. We've seen some remarkable images about how homes have been surrounded by water in many locations. But why some of that water isn't draining out is still an issue. Look, it is the summertime already. We've had a pretty active our summer season. We get thunderstorms every single afternoon in Florida on a typical summer day from the colliding sea breezes. East Coast, West Coast sea breezes meet, boom, develop thunderstorms, bring down a lot of rain, cools things off, everyone's hair gets frizzy, and we recycle for the next day. But some of the drainage has been slow in places like Sarasota and Manatee counties.
And Rory, as you document the flooding in North Florida, now that Debbie has made landfall once again, this time in South Carolina, do we have any sense of what the flooding threat is moving forward for South Carolina?
Yeah, places like Charleston have been hit hard over the past few days, as Savannah, Georgia as well. But this is going all the way up towards Myrtle Beach, too, and even into North Carolina. So a lot of these areas are they're dealing with 12, 15, 20 inches of rain that have fallen this week. So it's just been a constant deluge where they'll finally start to get some relief by the end of the day today. But there's going to be a long time for this water to drain off.
Our thanks to national correspondent Rory O'Neill. Coming up at 8:10, White House correspondent John Decker on whether or not a debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is coming soon. Coming up as well, your talkbacks. We're getting a lot of them. The back to school theme is in play, and we're asking you about your hot for teacher crushes when you were back in school. That's coming up. WOAI News Time, 7:44.
And we're back.
You want to do a parody here?
And we're back. Thank you, Connie, for the story. Appreciate it.
And you've got like at least 7. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, at least.
All right.
If not more. I can't count sometimes.
Well,
Thank you for your service, everybody. Hello, Trevin. Trevin, welcome
Roots
back.
Rock
Rock and Reggae. Thank you for your service.
RK was in here again. May
Yeah.
still be here. Jay Wagner, Travis, Eddie.
We have another
Connie.
talkback from RK talking about
Beautiful.
hot school
We
things.
we love the RK talkbacks. We might have to have RK Con.
Well, he
Might have to-
says he'll come and be a mixed drink holder.
Outstanding.
Of course, it'll be his drink he's holding, but yeah. Good morning.
RK is on our talkback Mountain Rushmore.
Yeah, he's up there.
Along with Kemper.
10 years in the Army.
Bell.
Thank you,
Wow.
RK. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, RK.
RK out in Lake Hills, Texas.
Always brings us a great background sounds.
Love it. Love it. Woo! Wow. Do, 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 do. We lost 2 subscribers. It was 749 yesterday. Now we're down to 747
What does that mean?
on the YouTube subscribers. You don't see it right under 1200 WOAI?
So we were at 749. Now we're down to
Yesterday,
740.
yeah.
That's so
How
weird.
do you lose subscribers?
I have no idea. Somebody goes, that's it.
I'm done.
I've had enough of these people.
Not enough charity. I'm out of
Yeah.
here. See, RK should come and get his photo taken with Eric.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, is Eric in here also?
Yeah,
he
Eric is there.
Yeah, RK Eric does amazing,
fantastic,
mind-blowing veteran portraits. It's a project he's doing. But yeah, in fact, anybody in here who is a
There
veteran
you go.
like RK, when we set up a date,
You need to
when
get
it
a
could
hold
be
of
a
us,
Mike
yes.
Opelka's thing, man. And we would love it because we would love a veteran portrait of RK and others that we'll
Yeah,
post those.
That'd be awesome.
So
I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more
it's a
of
great
it.
idea. Because obviously a lot of our listeners like Mike Opelka.
RK, you got to work. You got to work, brother. I know there's work that needs to be done out there in Lake Hills. All right, I'm ready for the parody.
We'll do that here.
Parody before charity. Huh?
Parody
Huh?
before charity. Politics and pints with Mike Opelka.
We're just coming up with
Yeah.
all these brilliant
Mhm.
ideas, man.
The Ernesto Ancira Hurricane Ernesto sale.
Yeah, where's Hurricane Winton?
What
Oh,
could
he
po-
doesn't exist
what
anymore.
could yeah, he's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you say Jimmy Hoffa?
Bidenomics.
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. Then we hear from you with the back to school theme, back when you were in school. Did you have a crush on a teacher? If you do tell. But Mr. T, it's not only about back to school, it continues to be about the Olympics.
Yes, and here is a back to school Olympic theme.
And now we take you to play-by-play of the back-to-school medley. First up, we see Jenny begging for a new smartphone.
And that's right. Her old iPhone is totally lame. OMG.
Next, we have Sammy. He's on aisle 17, and he's refusing to try on new jeans.
He is having a total meltdown, and his mother is embarrassed and mad.
Meanwhile, over on aisle 2, Brianna is not shopping.
You are right. I think she's texting her boyfriend.
And could care less about school because nobody understands her and she just wants to disappear. I hate you. I hate you. Why do we have to come to this stupid store? That's it for the back to school medley. Stay tuned for the 100-meter race to the bus stop and the freestyle homework challenge.
In charity, you have young children. You cannot relate to that and it'll never
Yes.
happen to you. Like that.
I hope. Right now, I still am in control. I can choose the outfits for my kids, so I am savoring the moment.
Do
for
savor
sure.
those moments.
Yes. All right, Charity, what else are you working on?
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is accusing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz of stolen valor. Chemical substances have been found at the house of a 19-year-old Austrian suspected of planning an attack on upcoming Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna. And San Antonio's financial performance is getting high marks. We'll have more coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow. Sunny skies today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. Highs 103 today, 101 tomorrow, 101 on Saturday. 79 degrees in Helotes, 79 in Von Ormy, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 7:51.
San Antonio's first news, will they or won't they? And if they will, when will they? I'm talking about a debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. White House correspondent John Decker with the latest on that at 8:10 this morning. Charlie Parker in studio. He will join us at 8:20. He's in the building right now as we speak, but we've been asking you all morning on the Talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app. It is back to school for a lot of kids already. A lot of them, more of them, including Charity's daughter going to school on Monday. So we're asking you to let us know, did you ever have a crush on one of your teachers, Mr. T?
Let's go to Tab Master.
Good morning, WOAI peeps. Tab Master here. And I do remember my high, well, actually it was junior high crush, Miss Barbie Bowers. She was my art teacher. Oh, wow, man. I tell you what, if I was any good at drawing, I would have drawn her closer to me. Y'all have a great day.
Barbie Bowers.
I know.
She just sounds good looking.
Yes,
I don't even know
she
what she
does.
looks like. But would you like to see Barbie Bowers?
Yes, I would.
Yes, I would.
Yes, I would. All right. Belle is back.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's me, Belle. My favorite crew of the morning. So Miss Rusty was my elementary teacher from Ira Ogden. She would have us clean our toes, scrub our neck, wipe our face, just for picture day. And I'm like, okay, to this day I do that, not because I know I need to do it, but every time I think about it, it's because of her. Good Lord, the things we keep in our minds up to this day. Man, y'all have a good one. Bye.
Belle never fails to deliver the goods. That was a good one.
All right, here is RK.
The RK here. Back in the 7th grade, there was this beautiful gal with long, blonde, shiny hair, the perfect living Barbie doll. She might have grew up to be a teacher. I would still be climbing those castle stairs today. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.
So RK went with a contemporary.
Yes, he did.
Which you can do.
Yes, he did.
Very well. We
All
love
right.
RK.
Here's another one.
Good morning, this is Daryl. I wanted to give a shout out to Miss Matthews, my 1st grade teacher. Got me interested in reading. Mr. Cope, my 7th grade science teacher. Got me interested in science. Mr. Brotherman in high school taught me electronics. And then Miss Mosley, who taught history. Ooh la la, she's straight out of college. And oh my God, what a hottie. Y'all have a great day.
See, I thought he was going to go all inspirational, all these teachers who inspire. And actually, they all did inspire him. Just the last one on a different level.
I mean, that really helps cut down on absences,
It does.
Ooh la
It
la.
does. You keep your teachers, the kids entertained by just showing up. All right, here's another one.
I had a lot of good teachers at Lee High School, but one I remember especially, Miss Leisinger. We had biology class. My friend and I were practicing opening our pocket knives like switchblades in the back of the class, and she comes up and says, "Boys, today we're going to cut open that frog with scalpels, not pocket knives, so let's put them back in your pockets." I probably would have gone to a alternative school and not be a doctor today, so thanks, Miss Leisinger.
Well, it does show you how times have changed.
Yes.
She didn't confiscate the knives. She said, boys, put those knives back in your pocket.
You know, that's great, though.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, let's go to our favorite pool guy.
Good morning, y'all. This is your pool guy, Marco. So
Hello.
we had a substitute teacher named Miss Garza, late 80s, early 90s at Highlands High School. So she was there at the back end of the semester, so we all enjoyed giving her a hug goodbye for the year. So have a good one.
And we haven't gotten into this, but there was something about substitute teachers.
Oh, yeah.
You would occasionally get a substitute teacher and you go, man, I wish we had her more often. There were substitute teachers who were, because they were often like new teachers.
Yes,
So they were
just out of college. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, something to be said about, school
Uh-huh.
teachers just out of college.
Yeah.
Just that. Now, did you have a favorite teacher, Chris? The one that you learned a lot from, other than Miss Petrie?
Other than Miss
Did
Petrie,
you? Nobody
the
taught you
gym
anything.
teacher who showed us how to do the trampoline.
Nobody ever
in
taught you
1970.
anything.
No, we had a guy. I had a geometry teacher named John Noble, who was a former Air Force officer. And I came from an Air Force family. I wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. And so to have an Air Force officer as your geometry teacher, he'd talk about the Air Force. I always loved, and he's passed away since, God love him, Mr. Noble, Geometry, Holmes High School.
Nice.
I like that. I like that. Because the ex-Air Force,
so
ex-service
cool.
members are always good teachers.
Yes.
They are really
Yes.
are.
And when they found out you were from a military family and the three of us are Air Force brats, it was just cool talking Air Force with him.
It definitely was.
Now, did you guys go to like your high school reunions? Do you keep going to those?
I went to the first one, the 10-year, and that's it.
Okay.
I went to 10, and then I skipped a few, and then I went to whatever the last one was. Was it 40? I don't even know. It was something crazy, but there was a Spurs game that night, so I just popped in. I had to come back here and work Spurs. So I popped in and popped out.
Yeah, we usually have an unofficial one. It's because the guys that I hung out with in school, I still see to this day. So
And with
when
Facebook, I mean, you can easily connect with people.
yeah,
that way,
I
so.
can just call them on the phone. We'll all get together.
At the last one, a lot of people said to me, "Chris, you really let yourself go." Thank you.
I get that a lot.
Thanks for nothing.
What happened?
Thanks for nothing. John Decker, White House correspondent. Will there be a presidential debate? We're going to find out coming up. WOAI News Time, 7:58.
8 o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, terrorists target Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna, and Texas carries out its third execution of the year. Details coming up. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Heat advisory. It's another air quality alert day. Sunshine, a high of 103. Tonight's low near 75. Get a move on. It is 79 degrees. Well, Taylor Swift's concerts in Austria have been canceled after police arrested 2 men for allegedly plotting terror attacks on the shows. Here's Fox's Christina Coleman.
Authorities announced they arrested 2 people who they identified as suspected extremists. Austria's Interior Ministry said one of them is a 19-year-old Austrian citizen who they believe became radicalized on the internet and pledged an oath of allegiance to the Islamic State group. Authorities also confirmed they obtained chemical substances that they say they are now evaluating. Tens of thousands of fans were expected to attend the Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna. The event's organizer, Barracuda Music, said, quote, with confirmation from government officials of a planned terrorist attack at Ernst Happel Stadium, we have no choice but to cancel the 3 scheduled shows for everyone's safety.
And all tickets will be automatically refunded within the next 10 business days. As our Decision 2024 coverage continues at a manufacturing plant in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Ohio Senator and Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance told workers and members of the press that VP Kamala Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, has been a failure on public safety due to his handling of Black Lives Matter riots in 2020.
I'm scandalized by this guy pretending that he stands for working people. Working people need to live in communities with public safety. Working people need to be able to build a business and know that some hoodlum is going to come along and burn it to the ground because of a political issue. Working people need the police to be supported in their communities.
Vance also accused Walz of stolen valor, claiming Walz abandoned his unit in the National Guard just before it was deployed to Iraq. Speaking at a rally in Detroit, Michigan, Walz spoke about the difference between the 2 campaigns.
All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is their try to steal the joy from this country. They try and steal the joy. But you know what? You know what? Our next president brings the joy. She emanates the joy.
Real Clear Politics polls show Vice President Harris leading the race in Michigan by 2 points over former President Trump. Well, 3 major credit rating agencies say San Antonio's financial performance is stable or positive. City officials say San Antonio has some of the highest bond ratings of any major U.S. city, and recently released bond ratings, Standard & Poor's and Moody's ratings both rank San Antonio as stable, and Fitch says the city is positive. The ratings are unchanged from last year. City officials say a sale of general obligation bonds, certificates of obligation, and tax notes is scheduled for the week of August 19th. Well, the former poet laureate of San Antonio is now suing the city for firing him and violating his civil rights.
Last year, Neftali De Leon was about 4 months into the position when in August he posted a poem on his Facebook page that some readers claimed had racist language. It wasn't long before those complaints reached city ears, and De Leon was told he could either resign or be terminated. Now, De Leon is suing the city for breach of contract and defamation of character and wants $7,000 in damages. De Leon's suit was filed by the D.C.-based New Civil Liberties Alliance and claims his constitutional rights to free speech were violated. Eric Lankham, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Testimony continues today in the civil trial against the parents of the accused Santa Fe High School shooter. Relatives of the 8 students and 2 teachers killed in the 2018 shooting say the gunman's parents knew their son was mentally ill, but didn't do enough to prevent the shooting. The suspect has been found incompetent to stand trial. Yesterday, the jury heard from a student who survived being shot and the mother of a murdered student. The trial is expected to last another couple of weeks. A death row inmate who claims claimed he was intellectually disabled, did not get a reprieve last night. Barbara Schwartz has details.
54-year-old Arthur Lee Burton got a lethal injection for the July 1997 murder and attempted rape of Houston mother of 3 Nancy Edelman. He strangled her with her shoelaces. Hannah Haney is with the Texas prison system.
In his final statement, Burton thanked those who supported and prayed for him. He apologized to the victims and his family. He expressed hope that they and himself would find peace.
His lawyers had argued that reports by 2 experts in records show Burton had significant intellectual limitations, which made him exempt from the death penalty. Prosecutors countered the defense, waited until days before the execution to raise the claims.
The execution was the 3rd in Texas so far this year. The Spurs are reportedly signing Malachi Flynn to a 1-year deal. The 26-year-old point guard played for the New York Knicks and Detroit Pistons last year. Flynn will join a Spurs backcourt that includes Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, and Malachi Branham. Earlier in the offseason, the Spurs signed veteran guard Chris Paul to a 1-year deal. The team also selected guard Stephon Castle in the 2024 NBA draft. It is 8:06, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news, Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charlie Parker in studio. He'll join us at 8:20. I'm Chris Duell. We are moments away from checking in with White House correspondent John Decker with the latest on, is it going to happen, a debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. We'll dive into that, but first, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunshine today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. 103 for a high today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. It is 74 degrees in Kerrville, 79 in Alamo Heights, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 8:10.
San Antonio's first news, moments away from connecting with White House correspondent and attorney John Decker, tracking the story about whether or not, and if so, when, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will debate. Coming up at 8:40, Joe Pags from the Joe Pags Show. He's got another big guest. He'll reveal who that is and who will be on his show this afternoon. Charlie Parker in studio. He'll join us in just a few moments. And before we're done, we're hearing from you about your hot for teacher crushes as we get ready to go back to school. I think, is it East Central School District is already?
I think it was,
They're
yes.
already back. There are certain kids across San Antonio that are already back at school. But right now, let's check in with White House correspondent and attorney John Decker. John, will they or won't they? And if they do, will it be on Fox or ABC or somewhere else? What do you know about a possible Trump-Harris debate?
Well, we know that Donald Trump on Fox News indicated that he's now open to having a debate. It seems as if he's not completely locked in on it happening on Fox, which is what he originally accepted an invitation to do, but backed out of an interview that he had committed to when it was Joe Biden at the top of the ticket that would happen with ABC News on September the 10th in New York. I think that Donald Trump recognizes the dynamics of this race have changed dramatically since Kamala Harris became the Democratic presidential nominee. A good way to stall her momentum is to have an exceptional debate performance. And Donald Trump's very good at these debates. We've seen this time and time again. So we'll see what happens. I can't tell you when it will happen or who will host it, but I do believe, maybe it's the optimist in me speaking, I do believe we're going to see a presidential debate happen in early September.
And John, considering we've already seen Trump on the debate stage, that almost suggests that Kamala Harris's campaign would suffer more by not debating Trump, doesn't it?
Well, yes, that's right. But she has already said that she has accepted that the debate offer from ABC News. She's committed to it. She says she'll be in New York, whether Donald Trump is there or not. So there's the makings of debate right there. If Donald Trump really wants to have it, he'll be there on the same stage with the vice president on September the 10th in New York City. I think both campaigns benefit from the debate. And I say that for the reason, the two reasons. One is for Donald Trump stalling the momentum that Harris has had over the last few weeks. And for Kamala Harris, she needs to win over those undecided voters. And one way to do it is have a good debate performance, prove that she's ready to be president, and win those people over. She believes that she'll be good on the debate stage if indeed she ultimately has this debate one-on-one with Donald Trump, wherever it actually takes place.
Is there a possibility that we could have a debate on September 4th and on September 10th between both candidates?
Oh, absolutely. There is. There's that possibility. Here's another possibility. You know, we talk about one network or another actually hosting this debate. What about the possibility of having a journalist from two different networks?
Oh, I like that.
On the stage asking questions. We saw that just last week at that NABJ convention in Chicago, where you had a journalist from ABC on the same panel as a journalist from Fox asking questions to former President Donald Trump. So that's a possibility as well.
I wonder how much of this, John, is either candidate doesn't want to blink and seem to be giving in to the other candidate. As you mentioned, Donald Trump would like the Fox debate around September 4th. And if Kamala Harris goes, yes, I'll do it, does it look like Donald Trump won that? If she would agree to the Fox debate, do you think maybe the stipulation would be, all right, I'll do the Fox debate, but you have to come do the ABC debate? Do you think it might play out like that?
Yeah. Right. That could be it. You know, what her campaign has said, we know this on the record, is that we've already committed to a debate, and I'm open to having additional debates. Let's have our debate that we've agreed to on September the 10th, and then we can talk about some other dates. So to me, that lays down the marker. And Kamala Harris feels that she's in the upper hand position in the sense that she has had the momentum with poll after poll. So, you know, that's why I feel optimistic that we will see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on the debate stage. And then we have to have this conversation. Well, what about J.D. Vance and Tim Walz? What about a debate for the vice presidential candidates as well?
Lots of fascinating questions and answers eventually coming. Our thanks to White House correspondent and attorney John Decker. Charlie Parker in studio. The passing of a Cowboys great. He'll talk about it. WOAI News Time, 8:15.
And we're back. And we're back.
Jacob, RK, very funny talk back as always. Connie, Tim, Travis.
Did you see that 400-meter race yesterday, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I thought he was getting his butt kicked, man.
He
All of a
was
sudden,
in fourth place.
Wow.
Halfway down the stretch.
Wow. And when he was running, I didn't notice the gold teeth.
I didn't either. And then
I think he
after that,
popped him in. I think so. Because
I don't know.
Because I saw
No, he had him because in the replay I saw.
because I couldn't see him in the replay either.
But I hadn't noticed.
I didn't notice him.
I've
Yeah.
seen him run a couple of times.
Yeah, I never noticed that before. Yeah.
Where do you get the money for those?
The International Olympic Committee has this, gold teeth program, apparently. Grills.
Gold teeth program.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss all those fine asses on
Oh, my
beach
God.
volleyball.
Oh, by the way, have you
Not much in the breast category, but man.
did you
some
see
of
the
them girls-
pole vaulter from Sweden? Oh, my God. She was smoking. Wow. Yeah.
She wasn't the one that twerked, was she?
No.
No, that was Canada.
Yeah, that was
Dang.
Canada. But no, the girl from Sweden, man, she is just exceptional. Exceptional. Miss Macon, English teacher, Mr. Bacon, science teacher, they were dating. The joke would go around that he was making bacon.
Wow. What are the odds? Funny, Jay.
That was pretty good.
Trevin, that's funny. Trevin, for Trump, anytime, any place means on Fox with Hannity
As
as,
the
the moderator.
moderator.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the USA basketball today.
Well, and one thing both,
But I will not be able to
both
see it.
parties can agree on is the use of the word weird.
Yeah.
I am so sick and the media.
Weird.
I'm so sick and tired of hearing everybody work that into their conversation.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. Wild, wacky, and weird. Trying to get this where it doesn't block him. Ooh. Pelka wants to know, do you want politics and pints or ballots and bourbon? Can we do both?
We can do both. Politics and pints is more.
I like it.
Not everybody's into bourbon.
We could have
But
a
it's
table
good.
set up for bourbons
That's
and
true. Ballots and bourbon.
ballots and bourbons and pints.
What are y'all doing?
Pelka's coming to
Pelka's
town for
coming.
his college reunion, and we're going to do a Pelka Con, and we're going to get everybody together at a bar and hang out and drink. He wants to do politics and pints or ballots and bourbons.
How about just pints or bourbon?
Yeah.
And leave out the politics and the.
Then it wouldn't be a Pelka Con. Stand by.
Okay.
Cool.
If you're watching the YouTube stream, you already know Charlie Parker is in studio. We'll go to him in a flash. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
President Biden says he's not confident at all a peaceful transfer of power will take place if Donald Trump loses the election. Taylor Swift has canceled 3 concerts in Vienna after an ISIS-related terror plot was revealed, and Texas schools are preparing for the end of federal pandemic funds. We'll have the very latest coming up right now, traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Sunshine today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. Highs 103 today, 101 tomorrow and Saturday. 79 degrees at Fort Sam Houston, 75 at Lake Hills, and 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOEI News Time, 8:21.
San Antonio's first news, Charlie Parker in studio. Charlie, you and I are old enough to have watched the 1970 and 1971 Cowboys season. Each of those resulted in a Super Bowl, Super Bowl 5 and 6, and the Cowboys had a pretty damn good running back those seasons.
I'll agree with pretty damn good. By no stretch of the imagination do I believe that Dwayne Julius Thomas, who passed away this past Sunday at the age of 77, was a great running back. I don't know if I would even go as far as a very good running back. He was a great running back for 1 year.
Yeah.
He only played 4 years in the NFL. That was it. Out of West Texas State, which is now West Texas A&M, a Division II school. He was selected by the Cowboys in the first round, 23rd overall in the 1970 draft. And as a rookie, even though he didn't start until the 5th game of the season, he led the team in rushing. By the way, that was a 14-game season.
Yes.
That was back when the NFL played just 14 games. At the end of the season, here's where I think things may have started to go awry. He was being compared to Jim Brown.
Whoa.
Hung out with Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they talked or not. He was named NFL Rookie of the Year his first year in playoff wins over Detroit and San Francisco. 135 yards against Detroit, 143 yards against San Francisco, making him the first rookie in the NFL with 2 100-yard rushing playoff games. Then things got really weird. During the offseason, Dwayne Thomas, number 33, requested his 3-year contract be rewritten. Management refused, at which time he called team president Tex Schramm deceitful, player personnel director Gil Brandt a liar, and head coach Tom Landry, quote, a plastic man, no man at all, end quote. Didn't report training camp, got traded to the New England Patriots, and without going into great detail, in an unprecedented move, then Commissioner Pete Rozelle voided part of that trade and sent him back to Dallas. He kept quiet all season long, didn't speak to teammates, didn't talk to management, didn't talk to the media, and then in 1971, named All-Pro, led the Cowboys with 95 yards and a touchdown in their win over the Dolphins in Super Bowl VI, which was the Cowboys' first. He was reportedly voted Super Bowl most valuable player by an overwhelming margin. But the editor of Sport Magazine, who presented the award at the time, didn't know how he would act at a banquet in New York. So instead, they announced Roger Staubach as the most valuable player. During the 72 season, he became even more isolated, insubordinate, traded to the San Diego Chargers, and for the most part, that was the end of his...
Yeah, he kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, he went by the wayside. Now, for me personally, and I'd certainly like to get Chris's thoughts on this. The reason, however, despite all of that, the reason I think I find him, and I didn't think about this till yesterday, hold him in such high regard is because I had been waiting 11 years for the Cowboys to win an NFL championship and or a Super Bowl, and it was their first one, and he was very key in getting to that
Big
Super
time.
Bowl and was key to winning that Super Bowl. But again, back to my original statement, I don't think he was a great running back. Not when you only play 4 years in
Yeah.
the NFL.
Yeah.
But he was a great running back for a year.
Yeah, well, and I would say 2 years. I would say when he won
Well, his
Rookie of the
first
Year
year.
in 70
Yep.
and in 71. So
Yep.
I'd say 2. Jim Brown, Bob Lilly, and Dan Reeves all said, and again, you can argue 2 years. They said he had all the tools to be a great running
Oh,
back.
absolutely. No question about it.
Had he applied himself and not gone off the deep end, and if he'd have backed up from that little 2-year window, 70 and 71, it looked like he was on the road to being, and Lilly said, I thought he would be the next Jim Brown, which is, and then ironically, Jim Brown is next to him in the locker room in Super Bowl VI when they win, and he gives the one-word answer to Tom Brookshire, evidently, when he's asked about his elusiveness.
Yeah, well, when you call the team president deceitful, the director of player personnel a liar, and your head coach a plastic man, no man at all, not only obviously based on the fact that they attempted to trade him or did trade him and then it was negated, the fact that all of that happened, you pretty much set yourself up that nobody's going to touch you after that.
Especially at that time.
He killed his career.
Killed his career.
Yeah, so sad. Dwayne Thomas has passed away, I believe, at the age of 77. Is that right,
77.
Charlie?
Yeah.
More coming up. Charity's got everything you need to know at the bottom of the hour. Joe Pags with a preview of his show and more from you on your high school or actually school days crushes on a teacher. WOAI News Time, 827.
8:32 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, a terrorist plot foiled in Austria targeting Taylor Swift concerts, and the city's former poet laureate is taking legal action after being fired. We'll have details coming up. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Heat advisory, another air quality alert day, sunshine, a high of 103. Tonight's low near 75. Right now, 82 degrees. Well, Vice President Harris and her new running mate are campaigning in all the big swing states, and Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports the Republican vice presidential candidate is not far behind.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance spoke at an aviation ground support manufacturing company and was asked why he's in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the same day as Vice President Harris.
Well, we wanted to make sure there was a contrast, in part because the media has been so dishonest about Kamala Harris's record, and in part because they refuse to ask her questions.
He was also asked about the insistence by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on calling Vance weird. Vance said after Walz's first rally,
his wife comes up to him, and Tim Walz does what any normal Midwestern guy would do, seeing his beautiful wife on stage after a speech. He gives her a firm handshake. Right? That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
Vance said he thought open borders and letting rioters burn down Minneapolis after George Floyd's death were weird decisions. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Meantime, President Biden says he doesn't have faith a peaceful transfer of power will take place if former President Trump loses the election.
Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath.
Biden made the remarks in an interview with CBS News that will air in full on Sunday. Trump made the remarks in March while talking about economic policy, saying in the following months that he would accept the results of the election if it was a fair, legal, and good election. Well, police in Austria foiled an alleged terror attack plot on Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna. Here's Fox's Kevin Cork.
Tens of thousands of Taylor Swift fans are devastated after 3 planned shows in Vienna, Austria, set for this week were all canceled over concerns of a planned terrorist attack at her concert stadium. In fact, law enforcement officials in Austria say they've recently arrested not one but 2 extremists involved in the plot, including a 19-year-old who allegedly had pledged an oath of allegiance to the militant terror group ISIS. Investigators are reportedly evaluating chemical substances found on the suspect, whom they believe was already taking the, quote, preparatory actions of a potential attack.
Well, the state of Texas carried out a death row execution yesterday. Arthur Burton, the convicted killer of a Houston mother of 3, was put to death by lethal injection for strangling Nancy Alderman in the summer of 1997 while she was out for a jog near her home. His execution went forward after claims of intellectual disability were rejected. His execution was the 3rd in Texas so far this year. Well, a new report shows that Texans are having trouble keeping up with the rising cost of housing.
We found that 90% of Texans, that's 9 out of 10, consider housing affordability to be a problem in their part of Texas.
Mark Jones did the survey for the University of Houston. He says many pointed to rising home valuations and property taxes. That's something the state legislature will again try to tackle in January. Well, the former poet laureate of San Antonio is now suing the city for firing him and violating his civil rights.
Last year, Neftali De Leon was about 4 months into the position when in August he posted a poem on his Facebook page that some readers claimed had racist language. It wasn't long before those complaints reached city ears and De Leon was told he could either resign or be terminated. Now, De Leon is suing the city for breach of contract and defamation of character and wants $7,000 in damages. De Leon's suit was filed by the D.C.-based New Civil Liberties Alliance and claims his constitutional rights to free speech were violated. Eric Lankum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
It is 8:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, a check of your money and the world of business. Ed Corey is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news coming up. More of your talkbacks on the free iHeartRadio app. It is back to school time, so we're having you go back in time and let us know about your teachers back in your school days. Did you have a crush on any of them? Do tell. Before that, though, let's check in with Joe Pags from the Joe Pags Show. Joe, another big guest on your show this afternoon. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Chris. Yeah, it's always great to have Ben Carson on, the world-renowned neurosurgeon turned HUD secretary under Donald Trump. He's going to talk about how the media is spinning the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz ticket. Going to be very interesting to talk to him. He says it would be Venezuela 2.0 if, in fact, they were to get in. We'll also have journalist Tracy Beans on. She broke the story the other day of Tulsi Gabbard actually being on a watch list. What's up with that? And a whole lot more. 5 o'clock today, the Joe Pags Show. News Radio 1200 WOAI. Have a good morning.
You too, Joe. Don't miss the Joe Pags Show, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. every weekday right here on 1200 WOAI. Mr. T, gotten a lot of talkbacks today, back to school, and we go back in time when we were all in school, and some people have some good, interesting memories.
Yeah, this one's all about Mrs. Fisher.
Good morning, WOAI. This is the Bowman. I'd have to say my favorite teacher was Mrs. Fisher. She taught geometry and math. And I was trying to learn math for some reason. I don't know why, but we evidently had the coldest room in the school. and it was very difficult to try to learn and understand geometry when I was.
Mrs. Fisher. All righty then.
I hear Jennifer Aniston had similar issues. That's what I've always heard.
The only good thing about that show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's
Really?
another
See,
one.
I missed that on that show.
Yeah.
Where were you to enlighten me, Mr. T, when I...
It was
If you
when my
some
daughters
enlightening.
were younger and they
Oh.
made me watch that show.
Okay.
Here's another one.
Crushes. In 1967, I was in the second grade, and I had a crush on my teacher, Mrs. Homan. And I knew that her husband would pick her up in a 1967 Mustang. And as much as I liked that car, I really liked Mrs. Homan more. So I pretended like I hurt my leg and couldn't walk home. She offered me a ride home, and I got to ride in the back seat and just look at her and adore her.
Wow. Second grader.
Hey.
Coming up with that plan
What
just
took
to
him so
get
long?
a ride home in the
What
Mustang.
took him so long? Come on, man.
That's impressive.
All right, here's another one.
Good morning, WAI. Hot for teacher, 1974, fourth grade. I had a music teacher that wore mini skirts, and I had to find the one seat in the room where I can see her when she was sitting down.
Oh.
And watch very closely when she stood up and sat down.
Okay. There's crushes and then there's this, you know,
Well-
like, it goes a little further.
Well, and he was in fourth grade. The other guy was in second grade. You were in first
I was
grade.
in first
Mr.
grade.
T.
Miss Carr. Yeah,
At
Miss
least I
Carr.
waited until I was 15 to
Miss Carr was good
start
looking, though,
ogling
man.
Miss Petrie on the trampoline.
And Miss Carr drove a 1968 Camaro. You know, it was a beautiful car.
My
And so was she.
goodness.
She was beautiful. Go to one of my classmates. He was actually a year behind me.
Good morning, y'all. This is Danny from Pipe Creek. I was a year behind Mr. T in high school, and we both agree that Miss Cindy Horvath could easily have been a model. She taught history. I have no idea what she said because I just sat there and looked at her. Have a great day.
See, he was lucky. He had her for history. I did not.
But
I would
you saw her.
in the hallways at times, yes. But at that time, I didn't spend a lot of time in the hallways at school.
Do we know whatever became of teacher Cindy Horvath?
No, I do not.
So you got to track. We got Facebook.
That's
now.
kind of creepy, Chris. No,
can track these,
I'm not going to stalk a teacher I never had. She's going to, who are you?
Well, I'm just, I don't stalk.
As opposed to stalking a teacher that you did have?
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Because then Shalisha goes, oh, yeah, I remember you from school. That's a little different.
I don't stalk her, but Sandy Petrie from the trampoline in 1975 is now a Facebook friend of mine.
And
I'm
does she know the trampoline story, Chris?
I'm sure
She
she's-
does now.
I've told it many times on the radio.
She knows now, for
and
sure.
Paul Berry, good friend of yours, Mr.
Yes.
T. Paul Berry also went to Holmes High School, and he backs me up on Sandy Petrie. She has a different last name now. I won't.
Because she's
fully-
hiding
I
from you,
won't
Chris.
fully
That's why.
reveal that on the radio.
All right, we have time. There's our last one.
Morning, guys. Joey and Austin. There was probably only one teacher that I remember that was pretty good looking, and her name was Miss Gracia. Now, when my son went to high school, my PE coach, well, she looked like Bret the Hitman Hart, but his, wow, she looked like a model. So I think his PE coach is my crush.
Hey, at least he's honest.
And what's her name? Miss Gracia?
Miss Gracias.
Miss
Miss
Gra-
Gracia.
So you would
Gracia.
say
Yeah.
gracias to
Yeah.
Miss Gracia.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, muchas gracias.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. All right. Is that it, Mr. T?
That's it.
That-
We're
That's
done.
it. My goodness gracious. All right. Coming up, we will get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more. WOAI News Time, 8:45. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. Charity, have we mentioned lately that Mr. T and I are undefeated in pickleball? Have we?
I think at least 20 times this morning. Yeah.
It's not since 8:30.
Yeah, so let's make it 21 because we're undefeated on this National Pickleball Day.
There's a brand new game. Everybody seems to want to play. Even though at first it may sound lame from its funny name. Let's play pickleball. Badminton and tennis, come on, babe, get with it. It's like ping pong, but bigger. Everyone's a winner. Bring your sweat socks and yacht rock. Baby, won't you join me for some pickleball? We'll buy some gear and maybe we'll turn pro. Everybody here wants to know how to play pickleball.
And awaiting her rematch is Charity McCurdy. What stories are you following?
Former President Trump will be holding a press conference today at Mar-a-Lago. Taylor Swift concerts have been canceled in Austria due to an ISIS-inspired terror plot. And 2 astronauts who flew to the International Space Station on Boeing Starliner spacecraft could be stuck up there until February. We'll have the very latest coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow. Sunshine today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and hot. Highs 103 today, 101 tomorrow, 101 on Saturday. It is 78 degrees at Randolph Air Force Base, 79 in Von Ormy, 78 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 8:53.
San Antonio's first news. Mr. T, you told us something this morning about pickleball. This is National Pickleball Day. It was something we did not know about pickleball.
That's right. We did not know why it's called pickleball. And the guy that invented the game had a dog named Pickle that kept taking the ball and running off with it. So he decided to call it pickleball.
There you have it.
Who names their dog Pickle?
The guy that invented pickleball.
Yeah, that is an odd name for a dog.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was green or what, but yeah.
Charlie, any desire to play pickleball? Have you even tried or?
No and no.
Oh, okay.
And Charity is looking for a partner to take on me and Mr. T.
Because her last partner.
No.
If Randy Beamer refuses, you could,
No and no.
the glory of pickleball.
No. I will predict
Why do you say no to pickleball?
It just doesn't, it doesn't look fun.
It's a blast.
Great fun.
So much fun.
There's drinking involved.
Yes.
Well, I can drink without having to play pickle, get in a car and drive somewhere and buy equipment. And
You can
I
rent
do
it.
predict that at some point, probably within the next 8 years, it'll probably by 2032, I think it'll probably be an Olympic event.
Thank God we've been lobbying for that because
bet you
we're
will
thinking
be.
about, turning. Oh, yeah.
Well, and all these malls that are closing across America
Would be
because Amazon
perfect.
owns the world, a lot of these malls are being converted into pickleball, indoor air-conditioned pickleball courts because you got all these malls that people don't use anymore because everybody uses Amazon.
My answer is still no.
Well, maybe we'll get Charlie drunk, and maybe if he's drinking, we can talk him into it.
Oh, no, that would never work.
No.
I've tried that before, though. It doesn't work.
Been unable to talk him into anything in 25, 30 years.
No, it
So,
just
all
doesn't
right.
work that way. No.
So physical activity for you, Charlie, is a walk around the neighborhood. What do you do to
Swim.
Nobody
exercise?
said that I didn't do physical
I didn't say you did.
activity.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
you did.
No, I didn't. I
Yes,
said,
now you did.
I said, so for physical activity, what do you do? A walk around the neighborhood? What do you do?
You want to see how good my right thumb is on a remote?
Now, will that become an Olympic sport? Because I could go. I could be.
Oh, yeah.
I could gold medal
We'd
that.
all medal that. We'd
Yeah.
all three of us would be up on a podium.
Yes, absolutely. Our thanks to Charlie Parker for coming in studio. Andrew Zimmel doing all the heavy lifting by himself today, flying the Millennium Falcon and manning the YouTube stream. Thanks to everybody on YouTube. We will reconvene tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Glenn Beck moments away with the Glenn Beck program. Before that, Charity McCurdy at the top of the hour with all these Thursday big stories. But right now, your Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Goodbye, everybody.
See y'all later. Adios.